Ruins of Archaea. Starring Donald, Emily, Lloyd, Kieran, Leslie, Craig, and me, the GM, Brandon. I'm just running through this because I'm not in the mood to make the ordeal. So, the music is from Antti Martikainen, which sounds Finnish? I don't know.
Yeah, so Finnish, I'd say.
I would say so too. All right, tonight's game brought to you by Kirkland Cabernet Sauvignon, a la Boite.
Boîte vin de bois.
That's not bad. I certainly had worse. All right, so
honestly, does that still work out any cheaper than that $2.59 a bottle from Lidl?
Don't know. Haven't run the numbers. So we are in the town of Crystal Lake. Here it is on the map. You see the map? Everybody see the map? Isn't it lovely? Okay. It is a grimy little town. You just got here last night. Everybody but Kieran got here last night. You went to
the bakery and the nice place to sleep.
I can close that. I'll come back to that. Okay. You went to the gnome baker, who was pleasantly surprised to see you because he didn't think he was going to get a new shipment of baking supplies quite this quickly. So that's fun. Turned over the stuff. He went and got his human baking assistants, and they got to work making bakeries, pastries and stuff. And at some point you found out why delivering baking supplies was important. And that was because there is a agreement between the town and a group of fairies who have taken over what used to be the watermill and is now what the fairies refer to as the breathing engine. And so that's what they call it, so that's what everybody else calls it. How do I stop presenting? Stop presenting. There we go. Oh, and just because I thought this was whimsical, here you go. Gnome Baker. Hard at work.
Okay. About what I imagined, yeah.
The gnome is just a little over half the height of
the halfling.
The halflings. Yeah. Whose are stop presenting, blah blah blah.
Who are halfling the size of a human.
Halflings are half the size of a human. Oh, it's been weeks since we played. I've lost everybody's name in my brain. Ogilvy, pretty hard. Ogilvy's a female halfling, and Avanti, or Avanti Manisha, is also a female halfling. Avanti wears armor, Ogilvy does not. Anyway, the gnome is like about 2/3 your height. Maybe not quite 2/3, maybe 3/5. So, there you go.
Oh, 3/5 of a person. That'll work out well. Right.
It always does, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're not going to pursue that. Anyway. Then you went to Lazar's house, which I have a brief description of it written here. A cozy gaming parlor situated on the Vane's Central Square. The Vane is the main street of the town, and all the major businesses are on the Vane. The bakery is on the Vane, and so is the Feral Dog, a sleazy tavern, also on the Vane, which you haven't been there, but still, there you go. So, you went to Lazar's, you got dinner. It was late. Like it was late when you got to town, so it was even later.
Yeah, we were like waking people up coming into town, going, "All right, if you don't want the stuff, we'll just go home."
Well, you were waking up the, let's call them respectable people, which is a minority in Crystal Lake. Everybody else, they were just getting started. So,
okay. So we enjoyed ourselves before we crashed out.
Well, if you say so.
Okay.
Looking up some guy's name, because this guy, where is he? Kevin J. O'Connor. Anybody know Kevin J. O'Connor? You'll recognize him when you see him.
Okay, yeah,
You'll
not
say,
by
"Oh, it's that guy." Yeah, because I didn't know his name, but now I'm saying, "Oh, it's that guy." Saw him in a movie earlier. He was in The Mummy. He was. You'll recognize him. Let me find a. Oh, he was in Deep Rising. He's been in tons of stuff. Trying to find
never
like a good
saw
picture.
Deep Rising.
And Lord of Illusions. Goodness, all kinds of things.
Oh God, yeah, that dude with the weird look on his face every time.
It's just his face.
Yeah,
It's it's not a weird look. That's just how his face came from the factory.
yeah, the guy from Catch 22. Okay.
What's his name again?
Kevin J. O'Connor.
Oh, were you
Who
going
was
to share
Dr. Mike?
or we're on our own?
Okay, did you ever see The Rise of Cobra, the G.I. Joe movie? He was Dr. Mindbender.
That I don't remember. I remember almost nothing from that movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, did anything actually happen in that movie? I just remember there being like vehicles, explosions, and green smoke that ate things. That's literally all I remember from that.
The guy who invented the green smoke.
I'll take your word for it. I seem to recall somebody in the movie became Cobra Commander at the end.
Yeah.
Sort of like it's like the origin of Cobra Commander or something. I don't really
Yeah.
remember it. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah.
Anyway,
yeah. He was
so you're
also
at
Igor
the
in Van Helsing.
moving forward. You're at Lazar's house. Oh, back to. I'm sorry, I gotta pull this up because I'm never gonna remember this name.
Okay, that explains his look. He was Igor in Van Helsing.
Yes, he was. Air Trank. Okay, so we have Air Trank, who is in town. What is Air Trank doing in town? I don't know. Working, I guess.
Yeah.
But because it would be inconvenient if Air Trank were a day's travel underground right now. So we're going to say this is Air Trank's off period.
Yes.
So you just came up from. Are you cleaning your lens, Emily? What's the deal?
Yes.
Okay. That was disturbing.
I mentioned that she blurred tonight. I didn't know if it was her video resolution changed or something.
Maybe she's doing that old movie trick
she
of like
trying to make
Vaseline
it
on the
focus
lens,
in on
so like you're all blurry.
Oh yeah, that's what I do a lot.
You wanna cover up the
we got to make sure it focuses in on the name here.
That's why I look 25 years old.
There you go. Well, being stylish helps. You know, the tattoos and stuff and the headband that helps.
Oh man,
in younger life. I just remember these older movies, and he'd be like the male lead, like oh man, I'm trying to blank on his name, like not Gregory Peck, but one of those guys. Okay, old movie guy, and then he's there, and he's like, it's a close up, and he's like saying something very serious, and then it cuts to Barbara Stanwyck, and she's looking up, and it's like this haze over, just like what the hell's going on? And then Robert Moore.
You're like, exactly how thick was the Vaseline on that lens?
Yeah, it's just the contrast, you know. He's all like sharp and hard edged, dark, and light.
The first time I noticed that was on the TV show Moonlighting, where Sybil Shepherd was all soft, and then Bruce Willis was all like, you know.
And they did that on purpose.
Day.
Yeah, they did that on purpose to make fun of those stylistic things.
I believe that.
That was totally
that's pretty great.
All right, so at your Lazar's house, a cozy gaming parlor. Air Trank gets up, and let's say for sake of do you have anything you want to do or pursue in your guest starring role this week? Because you know you're only going to be here today, so I want to make the most of it for you. Anything you particularly want to do?
Not that I can think of. No, I'm here to have fun.
All right, cool. You came up out of the mines yesterday. You got paid along with about 75 to 100 other miners, whoever came back out of the mine, because not everybody does. And then you spent money on whatever it is you normally spend money on, whether it's basically the only three things to do in this town are gambling, whoring, and eating. That's really all there is. So, I mean, there is one place that has like entertainment, like, dancing and music and stuff. So people do that as well. It's not Lazar's. It's something, the Emporium. People just call it the Emporium. It started out as a freak show, essentially. Physical curiosities.
See, honey, I told you having the expertise in gambling was a good thing.
Yes. I have the skill gambling.
That's excellent.
Oh, if I recall, you got expertise in gambling.
No, I didn't get expertise. There's no plus next to it.
Wait, let me see.
Okay.
No, but having the skill and having an agility of 5 and a reason of 4 is not bad.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you probably still win more often than not. I mean, you're not like Card Shark level, but because that would have the plus next to it.
Yeah, that's how she's getting out of town.
Yes, I'm just slowly pocketing money and socking away money for getting out of town.
Well, you would have learned by now that of the dozen or so gambling dens of various repute, the nicest, most upscale place is Lazar's, where the game of choice is Dragon Chess. One step down from that is a place called the Feral Dog, which mainly has dog fights or chicken fights or basically any animal they can put into a pen with another animal and bet on that someone can go catch and put there and will fight. Those fights. They're also
Mongoose and cobra, the whole deal.
pretty much whatever is on the menu for that day.
Yeah.
So they do
Coyote and
those.
prairie dog.
And then they have your more normal gambling sort of things, cards and dice and stuff. And from time to time, one of a local favorite is knife darts. It's like darts, except the target is about 2 meters wide, and you're throwing knives instead of darts. So that's a local favorite. It leans toward the local strengths.
I should be just fine with that game too.
As it happens, having a high agility would be particularly useful in that.
And ranged combat.
So that's at the Feral Dog, which is a sleazy tavern on the Vane's Central Square. However, it's morning, so you got to get up and go eat. Best foods probably at Lazar's. It's overpriced, like vastly overpriced. Everything at Lazar's costs at least 3 times what it's worth because they don't want miners to go there. It's basically for mine managers and local bigwigs like the mayor and the mayor's assistants. It's that kind of place. A few miners go there.
Write it off. Anyone who has an expense account goes to Lazar's.
It's not so much that, and there's no one to expense it to, but it's more about just getting away from miners for a while. So.
Well, then they would have the best breakfast.
And breakfast is usually like a loss leader anyway. So hey, breakfast at Lazar. So, for the sake of argument, let's just say Air Trank goes there.
Yeah, Air Trank had a good night the night before. And one big, so I'm gonna treat myself.
Marvelous.
I don't want to hang out with the miners any more than anyone else does. I'm only there to get myself out of there.
All right. There's like a food thing here I was gonna do. Where is that? Weather, gear, food. I had it here. Hang on a second. I shall search for my notes. Really? It says it can't find it. All right. How about broiled? If you're just all right, I'll just have to make it up. Oh, I've got the wrong book open. Duh, no wonder I didn't find it. All right. Today's breakfast is broiled basilisk eggs in a mint sauce with a side of goat cheese and hard brown bread. Yum. Uh, there's also, porridge and beer and the normal breakfast foods. Grilled tomatoes. Anyway, so breakfast, yay. So air tank's already there. Having been working in a mine for a while and getting a really good solid night's sleep, wake up the break of the day, ready to go and enjoy a few days off. So yay. Everybody else wakes up. You remember what happened last night, and you may or may not have that moment of where am I? Because you've never woken up here before, and then you remember where you came from. Yeah. Where is this guy?
I'll have kept watch during the night to make sure that nobody steals our shit. It strikes me as the kind of town where that might happen.
This is a town where people steal your shit. This is true. I'm certainly can't. What do you want, Kitty? Your concerns are reasonable. Yes. I'm not going to discount your concerns. I'm trying to find a picture from The Mummy where he's not going, because I don't know. He seems to always have that expression in The Mummy anyway.
Yeah,
again,
that was kind of his character in The Mummy was.
Yeah.
Mr. Scaredy.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And he wasn't the most honest creature in the world, and he met a very unhappy end.
Well, okay.
Oh, yeah, but that's because it was The Mummy. It was good pulp.
Oh, I love that movie.
Oh,
it was a good movie, but somehow the thought of being locked up in a tomb with a bunch of scarabs ready to eat your face off.
Also worth screaming at.
Personally, best part of the movie is when they're talking to the guy with the airplane. And he's like, "Oh, another adventure, is it? Well, probably won't survive, will we? Well, then let's get to it." And everything he said happens as he said it. It was perfect pulp plotting. And he was like, "Well, this'll happen and that'll happen and that'll happen then, huh? Let's get to it." And then it all happened. It was just it kind of like that scene in Hot Fuzz where the movie fanatic asks the cop about all these things he's done, and by the end of the film ends up doing all of those things.
I do remember that.
Contrast.
There we go. Awesome.
Yeah, it's just one of those points where it's just really good cinematic storytelling.
So everybody gets up, comes down to the common room, and there's not a lot of traffic because Lazar's house charges an entry fee at the door. It's, what was it again? It was like $2 silver to get in, just to get in. I mean, normally you can get a elaborate meal for $2 silver, and Lazarus charges $2 silver to walk through the door. See, they don't want the miners coming here. But there are a few here because, as I said, it has the best breakfast. And there are also a few people, not like the hoity-toity, like the governor, mayor, or anybody like that, but you see people who are clearly not dressed the way miners dressed. Functionaries, accountants, that sort of person. Minor political figures in the town are here, and a few guards who you watch one come in and they don't pay. So that's one reason why the guards eat here, because they don't have to pay to get in. Yeah, there you go. So it's like a buffet. You go up, you get food, you slop it in your bowl, and you pay, and then you slop it in your bowl, and you go sit at a table. And then somebody comes by to ask if you want something to drink. And this fella comes by to the table full of newcomers who Air Trank has noticed. I was getting there. It took me a while, but I got there. So Air Trank sees this group of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people who are clearly not from around here. Go get their food and sit at a table. This fella comes up to the table.
Not just not from around here, but not from around here.
Yeah, this fella. This picture's from Deep Rising, by the way.
Okay.
He comes up to the table, and he's got a pitcher in each hand, and he's like, "Good morning. I've got water and I've got beer. If you want something else, I have to go get it. But if you want these, I've got them." Anybody?
Here.
If yeah,
And he pours. He just starts pouring.
Sounds good.
You know what? If the water is as dark as the beer, I'm taking the beer.
Good choice. I approve.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I the pitcher.
It's not lake water. It's rainwater. So there's nothing living in it, and it doesn't smell bad. It's safe to drink, but still, the beer's better.
The beer's still a better bet.
I mean, it's a light beer. It's a breakfast beer. So, yeah. So he does that.
I tell him he can leave the pitcher if he doesn't mind.
Can't. Sorry.
Come on.
Nice
No.
try.
No. House has a limit of 2 glasses per person. If you want more, you got to pay more. So I'm supposed to keep track of it. Between you and me, I don't keep track of it. But I can't leave the pitcher. So you guys are.
Okay.
Oh, Air Trank is close enough to overhear this because otherwise I'll have to repeat things and I don't feel like it. So, so you're the treasure hunters, huh? Wow. I got to tell you, you're not going to find any. Wait, he looks around. You're not going to find anything at Sturge Cairn Cave. It's been played out for years. I mean, local town kids go play there. You're not going to find anything. I'm just letting you know. You're wasting your time. You came all this way. I feel kind of bad. I mean, most people around here, they'll take your money. They'll sell you anything you want. But you're not going to find anything at Sturge Cairn. You're just not. Well, I thought there were 3 of you. I guess more reinforcements, huh? More the merrier, right? Okay.
Why would you think there's 3?
I heard there were 3. The 3 of you. The elf, the fighter, and the I don't know which one of you is the magician. And then I guess you got a couple more people. That's fine. I'm not. Oh, sorry. That's not my business. Sorry. He got gestures with the mugs and they splosh a little bit. Okay. Well, is that what everybody wants? Oh, actually, he looks around a bit. I'll tell you one more thing. There actually is a cairn I've heard of that might, no guarantees, might have something in it.
Really? Do tell.
For, I don't know, a reasonable price. I could tell you about it. Give some thought. Maybe go check out Sturge Cairn first. When you don't find anything, come back. We could talk, right? All right.
Okay,
Hey,
great.
cool. You guys have a great morning. And then he goes over to the next table where there's a female dwarf sitting there, and he pours whatever she wants, and he moves on around the room.
I'll ask the table. When did we become treasure hunters?
I don't know. I don't know.
Not sure.
Maybe
I
he
mean,
assumed.
I know you people get up to shit when I'm not keeping track of you, but when did this happen?
Oh, you're out of towners. Yeah, they're all out of towners and treasure hunters here.
I mean, we arrived in the dead of night. I can't imagine how.
Okay.
I thought we were a caravan. I kind of got the opinion we came here as a caravan.
It was just one wagon, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't much of a caravan. It was one wagon full
It
of
was us. With the
baking
wagon.
supplies. Yeah.
But, yeah,
It was
we
us.
were, like,
It was us, some
delivering-
horses, and some provisions.
delivering something, so I guess that makes us a caravan.
Anyone here know Floyd Kellum High School in Virginia Beach?
Heard of it?
Random video popped up on a chat room I mod in of 10 minutes of the last day of school, 1989.
Nope.
And I'm like, By random chance, is anyone I know potentially in this video?
No,
Not me.
I'm
No,
from
okay.
New Jersey. I don't would
I,
probably.
I know, but there are Virginia Beach people here, and I just had to check. Please, on with the game. It
Okay.
just the 80s called me out of the corner of my eye, and I saw Virginia Beach. And I know people in this room are from the Virginia Beach area.
I've been there
Ish
once
area.
in like the early 2000s. That's it.
North.
Sorry, I graduated in
Line.
'83.
Okay, back to the game. Yes.
Where'd I put it?
All right, so correct me if I'm
Yeah,
wrong, but we're basically
don't
getting
know.
breakfast and then we're leaving, right?
Yeah, I think we
I
should.
think we have to see somebody about talking about a troll who wants a toll.
Yeah, we've got a payday back in town.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there's somebody supposed to pay us, aren't they?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
going
for
to tell
solving
him
their
first that we
troll
didn't get rid of the troll.
We might not get full pay for getting rid of the troll because we didn't quite get rid of it, but we solved their problem.
You did.
That's how you should present it. Don't present it as we didn't solve the problem. Present it as we solved the problem. We just didn't solve the problem the way they wanted us to.
Yeah, so we might only get like pay and a half for this one instead of double pay.
Well, either way,
There's a saying, don't negotiate against yourself. But I thought that was that.
The problem is will they want to pay the toll? Because we
Hey,
know
that's
the
up to
problem.
them. Hey, personal consequences are up to the person doing it. I just say we stock a few pounds of meat for the trip back.
Well,
you know?
the troll did fix the bridge, and he agreed to keep it working, so I think it's
Yeah,
fair.
I see it as a business fee.
Also, I'd be willing to bet that other bad guys aren't going to be willing to approach the bridge with the troll there, so maybe it's all good.
think of it as evolution in action.
Yeah. It's think of it as a police precinct sitting right there on the bridge.
Airtrain
Yeah.
hears all this, by the way. Around that time, a guy comes in a uniform type of outfit. It's not a crisp or clean uniform. None of them are. The entire town kind of has like a sooty filter over the entire thing. Like nothing here is clean. It just isn't. It's like a smell. It's like a weird smell. Anyway, guy comes in, followed by a couple of people who are also wearing these very similar uniforms. They're not exactly the same because they're all individually handmade by different people, but they're basically the same. And this guy has a sunburst badge on his pinned to his jerkin.
Okay,
And
someone
I'll
important
sh-
finally.
I'll show you what this fellow looks like. And he walks over to the bar and gets a bottle and drinks out of it on the way to talking to you. They come in, they look around, they see you. He says something to them. He walks over to the bar, gets a bottle, comes back to them, and then leads them to you. And here's what this fellow looks like, except he's wearing a shirt. He's wearing the uniform, the jerkin and everything. But he's drinking out of a bottle of whiskey.
Bullet.
Okay.
He's chugging bullet
He's chugging whiskey as he walks toward you.
This bullet.
with a copy of the Penguin books. I can't tell which of the Greek authors that is.
I don't know what you mean. But he's got, a week's worth of beard. His hair's very close cut, but he's got a week's worth of beard, an earring, and he's kind of grimy looking. So there you go.
Is that meant to be George Michael? Is that who that is?
It's not George Michael.
Okay.
It's stock art of man
Okay.
drinking alcohol.
Okay.
So
Okay.
some male model drinking alcohol. And he's a good looking guy. He's also an alcoholic and hasn't taken a bath in at least a week. So yeah. He walks up to you. Okay. Bedrich wants to see you.
I'm sorry, who?
Bedrich.
And who is that?
Bedrich?
Yes.
Okay. You're in the town of Crystal Lake.
Right.
There's mines.
Right.
Yeah.
Mines
So-
have managers. Bedrick is a manager of more mines than anybody else.
Oh,
Okay.
so he's the mayor.
No,
But
no,
for
he's not the
real,
mayor. He is not
for
the mayor.
pretend.
He's a mine
Right,
manager.
but for real, not for politics.
Don't
He owns the
get into
city.
that.
He's the one who runs things.
He runs a lot of things.
Okay,
You're
then we'll
trying
talk
to
him.
you're trying to trip me up.
In that case, we'll talk to him.
Oh, great.
Finish my beer, set it down, pick up my staff. By all means.
Oh, well, we haven't had breakfast yet.
Mm.
So
Well, then
we're
shut
gonna.
up.
Let me know
I
when you're
have
ready.
only had one breakfast, and I served myself an entire second breakfast from the buffet.
The person
Hey, I
whose
get to
job it
see-
is, it's like a bald guy in an apron who, like, from time to time brings out like more of the crusty brown bread. They're bigger than muffins, but smaller than loaves.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like this big, like a half of a
Yeah.
loaf. From time to time, he brings those out from the back when they're gone, or a bucket of slop and refills the slops. And it's not slop; it's actually good food. But the oatmeal, gruel, whatever, cheese. He brings stuff out from the back. Anyway, he's the one who took your money the first time, and when you come back up for a second helping, who does other than Avanti? Just Avanti? Okay. Avanti comes. Okay.
No, Emily. Yeah, Ogilvy.
Oh, Ogilvy's nodding. Okay.
Because
The guards come up.
Because let's face it, second breakfast is just a start to the morning.
The guards come up, and he tells them how much it is, and the guy who spoke to you, the Sheriff Ktibor, Ctibor. In case you were curious, Ktibor, or is it Chtibor? I'm gonna say Ktibor. It's a Czech name, and I don't know how to pronounce it. Ktibor.
Let's go with keyboard we'll go with keyboard if we get bored.
Oh. Why do I
Guy
get this
in
feeling
apron
it's going to
says
have to do with the fact
that's-
that we are
That's
supposed to be treasure hunters?
what, Leslie?
I said I'm wondering if this has anything to do with the fact that we are supposedly treasure hunters when we're not.
I don't know. Anyway, sheriff comes up. Guy in apron says that's 6 copper, and Keyboard chugs his liquor. Says I know, and goes and gets some food, and they don't pay. Ogilvy comes up. He looks down at Ogilvy and he says that's 6 copper.
Again?
We already
Yeah.
paid.
You paid first time. Now you're coming back, and now you pay again. That's how that goes.
Okay.
Okay.
Prison.
That's
Exactly.
that's how it goes, little lady. Like that.
I paid
like the skipper
money,
from
and I make-
Gilligan's
I
Island.
paid-
Good
Yeah.
morning.
I pay the money, and then I very distinctly
Wait,
make them
no.
regret it
This
by
is
how much I-
Stop. This is Ogilvy.
Oh,
Ogilvy pays.
Ogilvy pays.
Okay. Then Avanti comes up and he goes, "Oh no, your coin's no good here. Not for a paladin of the order. Help yourself."
Oh,
Damn.
thank you.
Sorry.
And I start spooning it in and mention to Ogilvy, they seem awfully nice. Do you think it's because the miners are still breathing?
Perhaps.
At some point, does Air Trank find these people interesting enough to say hello to?
Yeah.
Because they've got one thing going for them. They're not from around here,
Yes.
which means they're probably going to be leaving at some point.
And that's what my plan was to eventually was to leave.
I would hope so. God, don't stay here. This is awful.
Yeah.
This is just terrible. don't stay here. Anyway, you got people who get more and go back and sit down and eat and drink. Oh, and Camille comes back with his pitchers, refills glasses. He says, "So, have you thought any more of my offer?"
Nope.
No? Oh, okay. What? No hurry. No hurry. I'll be here either way.
When he leaves, that's the good opportunity for me to walk up to him. Yeah, hi. I would like to first introduce myself. I'm Trunk Life, and second, I'm going to warn you. Everybody's trying to sell you something here, except for me. I'm just trying to get out of it.
Okay. I'm Eldon. Let's see.
Those Karens have all been picked over. It's not just the one.
That's the thing that kind of baffles me is we're not actually treasure hunters. We came to deliver baking supplies, and we were planning on leaving. But I'll
This is
introduce
for
everybody
Kieran's
around.
benefit.
Yeah.
Yes. When I'll find you a picture and post it up. I haven't found one yet.
No worries. No hurry.
Yes.
I was just sharing. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just to give Kieran an impression who she's talking to.
Yes.
But anyway, if your only desire is to leave this town, I commend you for your good taste and forethought. Otherwise, yeah, we'll probably be leaving like later on today. If you want to head back to Vodny Brana, that's where the direction we're headed in.
Actually, yes, I would like to leave the town. I'm ready to get out of here.
I'll warn you right now. We have nothing worth stealing.
That's quite all right. I do not have this. I do not tend to steal things.
Okay, well,
I will have to be very desperate to steal.
Sorry, I was just giving you the benefit of the doubt for the rest of the town.
Understandable, yes. Block one's doors here, yeah. I am not from this town. I am not. I am from the sea.
Is anybody a native? I mean,
I presume some are. I haven't really gotten to know them all that well.
Would a native of this town have survived long enough?
I'm just trying to figure out the whole. The word procreation just popped into my head, and now I'm not going to be able to get it out of my head for like the rest of the day.
No, I'm sure it happens between the managers and his secretaries, but the mine workers wouldn't have the energy for it, you think?
Again, it's not something I want to contemplate, to be perfectly honest. I'm now wasting brain cells that I didn't need to be wasting on this particular subject. But anyway, have a seat. We'll tell you all. Have a seat. We'll tell you our sordid tale.
Excellent, thank you. Yes, I'll grab what's left of my meal and put it in and bring it over.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, essentially just kind of chat and talk to what has been so far one of the only people that I don't immediately want to avoid in this town.
Do you want to role play that, or do you want to fast forward to being done with breakfast?
No, by all means, fast forward.
Okay. Eventually, the guards.
You
You find out whatever Kieran wants to tell you about her story. Actually, why don't you just go ahead and tell them like the 3 or 4 sentence summary of how you got here?
All right, sure. Her trunk is she's a sea dwarf, so she's of one of the sea clans. Her plans goes against who tends to go hunt leviathans and sea serpents, and they tend to do it in small boats because maneuverability. Her boat was smashed. Pretty much everybody perished except for her, so as far as she knows. And she woke up on the shores of the strange land, and that's far away from home, and no one knows what the name where she's from around here. So, trying to get back, and not doing very good at it.
Well, that sounds familiar. Doesn't that sound familiar?
There's a lot of that going around. Yeah.
The further away you get, the further I go, the further I get from the sea.
Doesn't it sound familiar, Avanti? Right, Avanti? That sounds very familiar, doesn't it?
No! I never crossed any water. I'm not from the ocean. I don't know what you're talking
about. Yeah, but you're looking for your home, too.
I am on a quest. That's different.
Okay. A quest is very important.
I was put on a quest.
Sheriff Tibor staggers over to your table, followed by Thug 1 and Thug 2. Sorry, Constable 1 and Constable 2. Potato.
Wait. No, that's Juan and Dew.
And he says, we're done eating. So, are you ready?
Sure.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Finish up.
Somebody freeze? I heard uh-oh.
Craig did for a second, but he's back.
Oh, awesome. And you follow Sheriff Tibor and Constable 1 and Constable 2. They don't, like, flank you as you're leaving. The two of them follow him, and he doesn't look behind him the entire way. He just assumes you're following him. So.
Okay, because I was going to divert and check on Jasu.
Jasu's... Oh, you put Jasu at, like, the nice stable, didn't you?
Jasu, who I paid the extra to get the
You did.
spa treatment.
It's actually one of the local mine managers who is no longer a mine manager, or like has like one mine and it's kind of played out, but they still have a really nice house, and they rent out their what used to be their gardens as upscale stable area, because the regular stable is horrible. So anyway, you at some point Avanti like scampers off, checks on Jasu. Jasu's doing great, has a basket of apples, having a wonderful morning. How you doing?
Good deal, Jasu. Okay, in that case, I'll follow the sheriff and not worry about Jasu. If Jasu's taken care of, Jasu's fine.
Jasu's swell.
Okay, I'll follow the sheriff then.
This is
If
not bad.
If I need a war pig, I assume I'll be able to come back and pick him up.
You could whistle. The gate will not stop Jasu from going through it.
Okay, good.
So yeah.
So the fencing would not prevent Jasu from.
Nah. A whistle will bring Jasu coming. Hey, kitty. Well, don't give me that look. All right. You get to a fairly. Oh, you leave the vein, which is the main street, the main drag of Crystal Lake, and go like uphill a little bit to mansion, essentially. There are guards who are all also dressed like these guys. He walks past them, you walk past them. There's not like dozens. I mean, like there's like 2 guards. He goes to the front door, he like knocks on it, opens it, walks in. There's somebody in there carrying a tray. He goes, "Oh, I've forgotten this fella's name already. It starts with a B. Bedrick. I'm going to make a note of that somewhere where I will see it more conveniently. Bedrick.
What's that, Bob Bender Rodriguez?
He tells the staff person. That's weird. Tell Bedrick the treasure hunters are here. And that person says right away, and goes, or she says right away, and leaves. And he turns around and looks at you and says, "Yeah, just wait here. They'll come get you." And he leaves, along with his 2 satellites. So you're in a.
Did they put out like muffins or cookies or anything?
Here, no. You're in an entryway. There's a table. There's a bowl.
Okay.
In the bowl are pine cones.
I'm going to mention. Look at that. They didn't even put out refreshments. I don't know about these people.
Airtrank knows that Bedrick is probably the most powerful person in town, but is by no means in charge of the town. There are 6 mine managers of a dozen or so mines. Bedrick is manager of more than anybody else. He's got 4. He's not the mayor. There is a mayor who's in charge. He's not the sheriff. You met the sheriff. There's also, this is stuff that Airtrink knows, there's also a garrison of troops from Vodny Brana that are up the hill in a keep. They don't really interfere with town stuff. Like, they don't keep the peace. They don't break up fights. The garrison's job is to protect the town from what's outside the town. And Airtrink hasn't been here long enough to know what that might be. You just assume it's the normal goblins and stuff. So, there you go. Servant comes back, says, "Follow me, please," and leaves, but looks back to make sure you're following, and takes you to the garden behind the house where there's a table and a chair and another chair. There's a table with 3 chairs. There's a fellow sitting in one, and there are flowers and gardens and things, and there are 2 people tending to those. And the servant brings you here and then leaves. And the guy sitting there, Bedrick, looks like this fella. Here we go. That's Bedrick.
Okay.
And he looks up at you. He says, "Thank you for accepting my invitation. I'm so pleased to meet you. At last, I've heard so much about you.
No problem.
I was wondering, I don't want to waste your time. I know you have..."
Then you already know about the 5 pounds of meat per cart. Good. That saves a lot of time.
I'm sorry,
I
what?
don't think he knows that. I'm sorry.
5 pounds of meat per cart to go to Vodny Brana.
I'm sorry, what?
The bridge maintenance fee. 5 pounds of meat per cart.
You have me as a disadvantage, madam.
Ah,
I don't know what you're
the
referring
bridge
to.
to Vodny Brana. You're familiar with it, yes?
I recall there being a bridge on the... Oh, I'm doing his accent wrong. I recall there being a bridge on the way there. I don't know what you refer to.
Well, the bridge is being maintained and protected. It has its own police force. And it is 5 pounds of meat per cart to cross the bridge. The bridge will be properly maintained and you will not be bothered.
That sounds unusual, but I think that could be managed.
Miss,
Thank you for sharing this information with me. Anything else you want to volunteer while we are here?
Well, that's the big news. If you're shipping anything to Vodny Brana, that's what will get you through without your horses being eaten. I don't know what could be more important than that.
I see.
Miss, I
What
think
you want is compensation not to share this information with my rivals. You are very wise. You have come to the right place. I tell you what, 5 pounds of meat. There's a chance somebody would have that, but it's not unlikely. All right, you tell no one else this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. 18 silver.
But what's in it for you?
Oh, my shipments pass over the bridge. No one else's does.
That sounds more like 180 silver at least.
What you think?
So let us
Look around. Do not
negotiation.
mistake the grandiose nature of our surroundings for actual wealth.
Avanti,
I'm
I
not a
might
wealthy
want
man.
to point out that if this guy's shipments are the only ones that go through, then all his miners and all the other miners will suffocate. You better. We can't agree with this.
Yeah. We will set this discussion aside because obviously that is not what you wanted to talk about.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's very interesting, but no, this is not what I want to talk to you about. I have a problem. You, the animal woman, Zinjan, yeah?
Yes, matter of fact.
I've never seen a Zinjan in person. You are as alluring as I had heard. Although, I thought you didn't wear clothing. It's okay. So, you know about the fairies and their breathing engine.
Yes, matter of fact.
Why is it called engine? Engine is trebuchet, is catapult. Engine for breathing, it's more like a mill, like a water mill, air mill. I would call it air mill. I mean, they are in the water mill. I don't know. Fairy logic. So, here's what I want from you. You find out how their breathing engine works. You kill all the fairies. You bring the answer to me. I pay you 600 silver each.
That is a lot of money.
You're outsiders. I think. Oh, also, you can't tell anyone we have this arrangement because fairy curse is nothing to sneeze at.
Oh, so we get the risk of the fairy curse. How nice.
So you would have to leave town very rapidly, but you were leaving anyway. You're not from here, right? You after you do your treasure grave robbing. Sorry, treasure hunting in the hills. You go home.
One of the things I have discovered is that what you think is true is not true after you think about it. So we shall think about it.
Yes, I think we need to think about it first.
Tomorrow morning, you will have your answer.
Sound good.
Yeah, that sounds fair. You want a muffin?
Thank you.
Oh,
I have arrangement with the gnome baker. He makes a few extra muffins. I get them. Mostly they're for the fairies, as you know by now, I'm sure.
Oh no, those are cupcakes. Big difference.
Difference is cupcake has icing.
Sure.
Well, this has been a lovely conversation. I'll look around to everybody else. Are we leaving now?
Yes, we have to think about
You
this.
come back, let me know tomorrow morning.
You will have
Okay,
your
sounds
answer
great.
tomorrow.
Okay, I am actually not in a hurry, so, but I understand you have pressing business, treasure hunting in the hills. By the way, I tell you, you're not gonna find anything.
Treasure hunting, right?
All the cairns cleared out ages ago, years ago.
I
50
wink
years
at
ago.
him.
Before
Except-
blight. Before blight, all cairns empty.
I wink at him, except that one, and you know the one I mean.
Wait a minute, we're not treasure hunters.
Could be.
That's what they all say.
Avanti, roll perception. And perception based on your
Presents?
presence. Yes. Which is like your insight about his motivations and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he is going to also roll. And we'll see whether your wink is a noticeable thing to him, and if he notices what it means, and if you see any response from him, if he notices what you mean. Anyway, what do you got?
Okay, I didn't roll terribly well. I got a 12.
That's more than you needed to get that. You wink at him, and he just gives you like this blank look, like, okay, what? You're reasonably confident he genuinely does not know what you're talking about.
Okay,
There's a lot of
that
that
makes
going around
the
this
decision
conversation.
even easier.
Well, let's go talk about this, okay?
Yeah.
No, all right, you yeah, have a good day. Enjoy town. Oh, good luck on your treasure hunting.
As we exit his facility out into the street in the common, not being listened to area, I kind of comment to the rest of the group, not very bright, is he?
Anybody here have engineering?
Well, he's bright enough to have taken over 4 mines.
He's
That's
also
not
a very
brightness,
nice
that's
man.
finances.
Pause just a moment. Who has engineering?
Nope.
Nobody? Not one? Oh my goodness. All right, never mind. I'll just give you this then. The house he's in, it's pretty clear to you it doesn't have the number of servants a house this size would require. Anybody who's ever seen a house this size, at the very least, okay, Avanti wouldn't know this. Avanti's from a dirt town. She raised pigs. So
Avanti was one of the upstanding citizens. She bred pigs.
actually, I guess Jacob wouldn't either.
He cuts
Let's
wood.
say, for sake of argument, that Giral, Leslie's character, would at least have visited, shall we say, houses this large and elaborate. And there are like 3 times the number of servants in those houses than this guy has. And
Yeah,
I
what, they
don't.
put them all on guard duty or something?
Even the guards out in the garden, there's only 2. So it's severely understaffed. So that's anybody who would have a reason to know that knows that. Anybody who doesn't, don't worry about it. It's not that important. It's just spice, seasoning, narrative seasoning, the parsley of the story. So, yeah, you leave. Then what? You're out of earshot.
Okay.
He's not a nice man.
What?
Do business with him.
Where's that coming from?
Yeah.
Well, he's
He's
nice to you. He's
not.
nice to you.
He's just asked. He's
not.
just hired us to be assassins, effectively.
So did
He's
any of
not a
that
nice
conversation
man.
make any sense, or did it just go over my head?
He's
Oh no,
basically
I
just-
don't think. I mean, he effectively just hired us to be assassins.
Yes, to kill off all the fairies and all the miners who are working at
I
that.
did not accept. I don't think he hired me for anything.
Yeah,
Nope.
no, yeah, he
Tried.
offered us a great deal of money
True.
to do at least 2 or 3 great crimes so that he profits over the
We
other
really don't-
members of his society.
Competitors.
We
Also,
really don't want to
possibly
mess.
kills a bunch of people.
We really don't want to mess with the Fae. Everything I've read about them indicates that they're
No.
kind of bad news.
No.
Yeah.
Stay on the Faye good
Yes,
side.
Also, I think you meant to give that information you gave him earlier to the mayor.
Yeah, so we're first thing I think we should do is let the mayor and everybody else know about the bridge toll.
Yes.
Probably a good idea, yeah.
Mm-hmm. First thing we do is we cut off that section. Give him that answer right away so that he's not wondering.
So, Brandon, is there someone within visual range of us who looks reasonably upscale? Like somebody that I could have a conversation with and not have to worry about getting my throat cut during the course of the conversation?
Roll perception, reason, because you're walking back down toward the vein, the main street,
Yes.
right? I mean, you might see somebody. Take a roll. Let's see what happens. What's worse could happen?
Well, as I mentioned, the worst that could happen is I get my throat cut during the course of the conversation.
That possibly would be the worst that could happen. I mean, that's
The attempt of it anyway.
16.
Yeah. Oh, easily. Yeah, you look around and essentially you see people who have that look of somebody. It's their weekend. I mean, this society doesn't really have the concept of weekends, but
Right.
they're on their off work period. They come up out of the mines, they sleep until they wake up, and then they spend a few days just carousing. So you see the early risers doing that, mainly gamblers. Drinkers, they're not up yet. The gamblers, they like to get an early start. But you do see a couple of people who do not work in mines who are walking around with that look that says, I am on my way to do something at a place, and I'm on my way there. They've got that expression.
Okay. I will ask one of them where I might find the mayor.
The person stops and says, well, at the town hall.
Great. Where is that?
I can take
Turn-
you.
Oh, never mind. Thank you. Carry on.
Oh, there's like this bewildered look from the person you're talking to for like 3 heartbeats, and then boom, a light goes on over their head. Like, you're the treasure hunters.
No, we're not.
Oh, yes. I'm
No.
sorry. Yeah, right there. That's town hall.
Great. Thank you.
You're
We're
looking for
not.
Mayor. Yeah. You're looking for Mayor Nicola.
Awesome.
sorry. Yeah. Have a great day.
You too.
What am I doing? Oh, I'm going this way. Bye.
Where did people get the idea we were treasure hunters?
You're
I'm drawing a blank on that one.
You're out of towners who aren't here to mine. Ergo,
Therefore, we're treasure hunter because we got past the troll. That's why.
I'm not following that one either. Anyway, head to the mayor.
If you don't get past the troll, die young when treasure hunting.
I don't follow the law.
Yep. 1 and 1 equals 3 again. Yeah.
Just weird towny logic. Don't worry. You're not from around here. You survived, made it in, and you're not planning to stay. Therefore, you look like you're not planning to stay. Trust me. Therefore, you're treasure hunters, as far as everyone else is concerned.
Okay.
So you go to town hall. I take it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I need to make a note of this fella's name because I just wrote it down and I don't want to forget it. I mean, I just picked it and I don't want to forget it. Nicola. Mayor Nicola. Mayor Nicola.
Okay, so we successfully determined that nobody in this group can sing anyway.
I'll have you know, I was once a featured performer in my chorus, in the chorus in school. Of course, this is before my voice changed. And kind of went downhill from there. Had a whole Brady Bunch
I'm an outro my church
moment.
choir.
Didn't.
Yeah, Leslie can actually sing. I've heard her in musicals. It's astounding.
Okay.
Oh, really?
My brother was first chair tenor in the all-state choir during his senior year of high school.
Very
I
cool.
got none of that is the problem.
That particular
Okay.
talent just was not passed along.
So, you go to Mayor Nick. You go to the town hall. It
Yep.
is not a large or elaborate building. It is smaller than the hell's that guy's name? I just said it. Bedrick. It's smaller than Bedrick's mansion. It's actually just a little bit bigger than the entryway to Bedrick's mansion. It has an outer room and a side room and a back room, and that's town hall. It has a second floor, but you don't see a way to get to it from when you walk in, so you're not sure what the deal is with that. Maybe it's where the mayor lives.
No,
I don't know.
That's where he obviously lives, or at least keeps his good stuff.
So you go in, and there's an aide, functionary. What do you call? I don't want to say secretary. Oh, let's say secretary. There's a secretary, and at the risk of reinforcing gender stereotypes, it's a young woman.
Oh boy.
Administrative assistant.
Administrative assistant. There you go. Actually, no. There's no one young or attractive here other than you people. So there's a solidly built middle-aged woman. I'm thinking like Kathy Bates kind of a person. And she has a gleam in her eye that says she's not stupid. She may not be where she wanted to be in her life, but she's no dummy. So anyway, she's behind a desk. She looks up at you and says, oh, you must be the treasure hunters.
Yep.
You're here to see the mayor?
Yes.
Okay, hang on. She gets up, walks over to a big double door, knocks on the door, opens one of them, looks in, says, hey, the treasure hunters want to talk to you. And he's like, oh, send them in.
Never mind.
And she closes the door, turns to you, walks over, back over to you, says like, yeah, he'll see you.
Thank you.
Feel free to open the door yourself. She says no.
I will do so.
You walk in. It is a medium-sized office. There's lots of stacks of paper, and there are shelves that they're more like a wall of cubby holes, wooden cubby holes, with stacks of paper in them. And there are a lot of like handwritten little notes that are tacked over each cubby hole. That some have just like numbers and letters, and some have actual names. Nobody here is. Wait, does anybody here have like the thing? I forgot what I called it. Photographic memory. Anybody got that?
Yes.
I
Perfectly.
think I do. I think I do.
I actually think more than one person does. All right. Well, if it becomes important later, you can like rewind in your memory and read what was on these little labels.
Okay.
But for now, it's not important because I haven't thought of it yet. But I'm leaving that portion of the map open for later development. So, all right, there you go. All right. So, here's a guy sitting behind a desk. He looks up at you. He's neither happy nor sad to see you. You are a bullet point in his day, to put that in like the most accurate way I can put it. And much like the lady out front, and it's a fantasy game, so what you see basically is what is, because it just is. So,
you know
this
what?
fella.
Perfect. Perfect.
What
exactly what Avanti is looking for right now.
All right.
Oh,
Anyway,
that's from Angela.
It is Frank Langella. He looks up at you, and he puts a sheet of paper on top of another sheet of paper to hide what he was doing. And he goes, yes, what do you need?
You may or may not want to write this down.
That's true of literally everything.
The
bridge.
The problem with the bridge? Oh, okay. I'll let her tell it.
The bridge headed south.
He holds up his hand and says, "You're an elf."
I am.
We don't see elves here very often. What's this about a bridge?
There's a bridge between here and Vodnia Brana.
I'm familiar with it.
There was a troll that's taken over the bridge.
I've heard about it.
All you have to do to get across the bridge is pay the troll 5 pounds of meat per wagon.
5?
He doesn't care what kind.
Per wagon.
Per wagon.
So like a turkey would be 2 wagons.
Right. Or a chicken or a goat. Or,
chicken would be like 1 wagon.
Right.
Goat should be about 4.
Right.
A big goat.
The conversions already.
Huh.
But if you want to keep things moving between here and Vodnia Brana, all you have to do is pay the troll when you get to the bridge, and he'll maintain
What's
the
in
bridge.
this for you?
Nothing.
We were paid to solve the problem.
He's actually maintaining the bridge.
He was in jail.
Yes, he is.
This is the most interesting morning I have had in months.
Well, I'm glad we could brighten your day.
And all you're telling me about is the feed across the bridge. So again, why would we be paying meat to someone? It's being guarded by something that eats meat.
Yes.
And if troll fixes the bridge, he's going to keep fixing the bridge and let people pass with that toll.
Okay, he takes in all of that from the people talking. Troll.
And if any bandits decide to set up at the bridge, I imagine they'll have a rough time of it.
Is it safe to assume that if people don't want to pay this fee, that the troll will eat the people with the wagons?
It's a good bet.
Probably their horses.
He's just been eating the horses.
The people run away lately.
I mean,
That is true.
But the horses end up getting.
I think he just been eating the horses.
Yeah, not really beneficial to deny the troll.
He is repairing the bridge. I mean.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, really?
Oh, I've been
asking for years for Vodnia Brana to repair that piece of pile of.
We saw it.
It's in disrepair.
It's in better shape now.
Or it was in disrepair.
It was in disrepair.
It's in very good shape right now.
I have to admit, his sense of aesthetics are not great, but it's stable.
Functional.
So, function over form, I would guess.
Yeah.
Which I suppose makes sense for a troll not being a particularly aesthetic creature.
All he wants to do is be.
I mean, who am I to judge? You know, trolls probably think we're hideous.
Honestly, Your Honor, all he wants to do is be fed without having to run across the countryside and chase down his own food.
Which is probably a better thing for people around here.
A refreshingly simple point of view.
Isn't that a great retirement plan? I say you give it to him.
Does the troll have a name?
I'm not really asked.
Mister?
But believe me, it's when you get there, he's pretty unmistakable. It's about
so there's no mistaking it for any other troll that may be in the area.
Well, he seemed to be very friendly.
Yeah,
biggest troll I've ever seen.
I would recommend Sir.
how big exactly?
Huge.
20 feet.
Taller than the town hall.
Wasn't he like 7 stories?
Yeah, taller than the town hall.
4, actually.
Oh, sorry. Let's go with about 40 feet then.
Yes.
Close to it.
It's actually a little over 35, but still.
I was
Taller
looking
than
up.
the town
I
hall
was
is
looking
all.
up. He looked bigger.
He looks
Anyway,
real-
yeah. All right. Mayor Nicola. No, it's just. Thank you for letting us know. I imagine
problem.
it could cause interruptions in transport if people did not know that.
Yes.
And
Who else have you told this?
as a by the way, we're not treasure hunters. We're the people who delivered the baked goods to the dome.
Really?
Yeah. And we negotiated with the troll along the way.
You're the people from Bodney Brana.
Yes.
Yes.
I got an. Wow, I wasn't expecting you for like another week. I thought it would all
We
be over
solved
and
the
done by now.
We solved the troll problem.
By, yeah, negotiating.
So, not only have you resolved the problem with the troll at the bridge, you've also delivered the baked goods a day before they're needed?
Yes.
Before dinner.
Wow.
And we were told we were supposed to get paid.
And we got a good night's sleep and a breakfast out of it.
Forgive me for being a bit brusque, but you've been here a day. You know what kind of town this is.
Yes.
I apologize for taking out my personal dissatisfaction on you. I'm Nicola, the mayor. May I know your names?
Sure.
You
I'm
introduce
Eldon,
yourselves,
and I
it's
will
fine.
introduce everybody around.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. You have saved many people's lives and possibly saved the town as well, because without the breathing apparatus, whatever they call it, these mines would not be mineable. Except for people like, he gestures at Air Trank. However, however. Thank you. You've done us great service. Were you told I'd pay you? I
Yes.
don't have tremendous funds. What were you told?
What were we told?
The Merchants Guild offered us, what was it, 20 silver? How much was it?
Oh, I thought we were getting paid once we got here.
I think we're getting paid by the
Yeah, I'm mentioning
we still have
what
to tell them.
I
about
wrote
the
down
troll.
I wrote down 100. I wrote down 100 for the troll and 250 for, I think, for this, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure who was paying that.
Yeah, 250
And we didn't kill the troll, so we talked to him
250
and we
from the
made a deal.
merchants, or
We handled the troll.
Yeah, we made a deal.
You were hired. I'll just refresh your out of character memory and what you want to believe in characters.
in a minute.
What you want to believe in character is completely up to you, and I'm not going to argue with you about it. Out of character, Lord Mayor Folco offered you, I believe it was 20 silver each to resolve the troll problem.
Which we did.
That would be the 100, yeah.
Which, for that, you have to come back to him to get the money.
Okay.
You were also hired by the Merchant Guild to deliver baking supplies to Crystal Lake.
Yes,
And
we did.
the assumption, I don't remember actually spelling it out in such detail, but my assumption was you'd get paid when you got here. I don't know if I actually said that. If not, my bad. But that was my assumption: is you get paid.
Okay,
when you got
that
here.
was my assumption also.
Yeah.
Same.
And that was, what was it? Was it Craig? Was it 250?
250 is what I wrote down. Yep.
Okay, 250. I'll go with that.
250 for saving all the miners' lives, yeah.
Well, for the baking supplies.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you tell him the 250?
Right.
Okay.
Yes,
He goes.
I'm being honest here.
Good for you.
Well,
Well,
I possess no guile, so.
Out of guile today. Some is on order. He gets up. He walks over to a cabinet. It's not even a safe. Well, safes aren't really a thing. Locks are a thing. Safes aren't really a thing. So the best you can get is like a box and wrap it in iron and put lots of locks on it. That's as close as you get to a safe. It's not even that. It's a cabinet. It does have a lock. He unlocks it. He takes it out. There are bags in rows. He picks up a bag. He picks up a different color bag. He picks up 2 bags and a third bag that's a different color than the first 2. 2 blue, 1 red. And he closes the cabinet and he locks it. And he walks over to the elf who he seems to think is in charge. And he hands the bags to Eldon. I believe you'll find what you were promised in those bags.
Excellent.
You can, if you'd like to stay and count them, I don't mind.
That's all right. I will take your word for it.
You aren't from here at all, are you?
No, not at all.
If I can give you a word of advice, don't take anyone's word for anything here.
I second that one.
Okay, well.
He looks at Airtrank. He's like, "Oh, you're the dwarf." Oh.
I'm a dwarf, yes.
Well, at the moment, you're the dwarf.
Congratulations.
I meant no offense.
None taken.
Young woman. All right. Is there anything? You've done us a great service that I don't even think that. I'm not saying I'm going to pay you more, but he'll go back to down. But you've done us a service that fee doesn't really do justice to. You've literally saved hundreds of people's lives. Is there anything else I can do for you? Not that there's a lot I can do, but if I can try.
At this point, all we want to do is gather up our horse or our wagon and team and head back to Vatni Vrana. Is there anything you need us to take back there?
Me? No. You might check with some of the merchants, but no, I don't know of anything offhand.
Okay.
Then there's a knock at the door.
Suddenly a door rang out.
And
almost like it's one of the merchants.
No, it's actually the Kathy Bates administrative assistant person. She opens it, she knocks, and then she opens the door, and she says, Nicola, we've got a problem. And he's, what? And she's like, the baker, the whole batch, he says, it's bad. It's like, what do you mean bad? She says, am I a baker? No. He said bad. Actually, the baker's assistant said bad. I'm telling you bad. If you want to know how bad, I suggest you go talk to the gnome. And he's like, don't. Okay, I'll talk to the gnome. Anyway, he says to you people, thank you again, and have a safe trip back to Vatni Vrana. And then he gets up and leaves.
I will give the bags of money to Craig's character, because he is large and impressive and scary.
Okay, what do you do?
I'm curious to see what was going on at the baker's myself.
Indeed.
Yeah, let's go check it out.
Okay, you trail diagonally across this main square of the vein to where the baker's is, and you walk in. When you're in there, you're listening to the gnome baker, he's behind the counter, so all you can see of him is like the top of his hat moving back and forth. And the baker is cursing in Gnomish. So I had like a thing about languages, didn't I? Where did I put that? Diddle-diddle-doo. I swear I had something about languages. Under setting? Let's look under setting. History, geography, religion, magic, languages. Hey, here we go. Gnomish. Spoken by gnomes. Runic. All right. It's similar to Dwarvish, and like you'll pick up anybody who speaks Dwarvish, which will be Airtrank at the very least. You pick up like one word in 4. It's kind of like you speak English and you're listening to somebody speak French. It's like you can kind of, oh wait, I know that word, like that. Yeah. He's cursing a whole lot, and he's angry. And when you're there, the mayor's basically just standing there like listening. He's like, Master Baker, I don't speak Gnomish. And a hockey puck hits the mayor in the chest. It says, "Do you speak that? Do you speak that, you daft bastard?" It's like, oh, ow! What the? Why are you throwing rocks at me? And the gnome, like, ugh, like lifts himself up and climbs up onto the countertop and says, and reaches down and picks it back up and says, "It's not a rock. It's supposed to be a muffin or a cupcake once it has icing on it. But he like bangs on the wall, bong, 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 bong. It's a rock." And the mayor's like, "I don't understand." It's like it's chalk. All my baking powder is chalk. He like goes over to the edge of the counter and he points at a bin and he says, "That bin yesterday was baking powder. The people behind you,
Oh,
they delivered it. It was baking powder. I
It
tasted
was
it.
baking powder.
It was baking powder. Now it's chalk. I have a wagon full worth of pastries and croissants and cupcakes that you could build a house with. So," and the mayor says, "So
Time
we
to
don't
start
have the pastries," is what you're saying. He's like, "Oh, bloody right, that's what I'm saying. We don't have the pastries. We got building supplies is what we've got."
You had baking powder yesterday. What happened?
"When you find out, you tell me. Because I don't know. It
I
was
think I
baking
have a
powder.
suspicion.
It was baking powder when you delivered it. I
Yes, it was.
tasted it myself."
I think I have my suspicion.
Somebody nicked your flour and replaced it with chalk.
Not the flour. The flour is still flour.
Baking
It's
powder.
the baking powder. It's a mixture of baking soda, which is made from potash and cream of tartar. When
Who
you
in the
mix them
town?
and hit water, it makes bubbles.
Making
It's what
rock.
makes bread fluffy.
Ah,
Who in the town could use such a thing besides you?
I don't know.
I think it's more along the lines of who wants to sabotage the.
I had said I had my
Breathing machine.
suspicion. We talked to him earlier.
Yep.
Oh,
The mayor's like,
bad man.
this is
Could
not
be.
this is not good. This is not good at all. We've got a deadline at noon. He turns around to you people and says, "I hate to impose upon you, but since you are outsiders, there's a chance that you might be successful where someone from the town would not."
Oh, good. I was thinking you were going to hope we had baking powder in our pocket.
Do you?
Fresh out.
I checked my pockets just to be sure.
No, I didn't think so.
No.
If you would speak to the fairies and ask them if they would give us time. How much time, he turns back to the gnome, how much time would you need to get more baking powder? And he's like, ugh, well, it's not actually that hard to make. I mean, the alchemist down the road can make the soda, and I have tons of cream and tartar. That's not a problem, but I mean, it's going to take the alchemist probably a day to make, maybe half a day if he doesn't sleep. I can go talk to him. He's like, why don't you do that and let's call it half a day, midnight. He's like, I'll do it. I'm on my way. And he hops down from the counter and he.
So
He, like, runs
where
off.
would we go to find the fairy?
The water mill?
The mill. It was the mill a long time. People still call it the mill.
Ah,
If you
yes.
go this way, you will hit the coast, the shoreline. Don't get in the water. Follow that to the right until you get the river, and then walk up the river until you see the mill. And that's where you'll find them. And if you could ask them just to give us 12 more hours for the pastries and to continue running the breathing engine until then.
I think I
Please.
have somebody who can-
Pretty please. Be as nice as you possibly can. For your own sake and for the town's. Are you willing to do this? Do you have? He looks at the elf. He's like, "You're an elf. They're kind of related to you, right?"
Most elves wouldn't be willing to admit that.
Speaking of which, Ogilvy,
Yes.
you hear a voice in your ear,
Yes.
and the impression you get is like you're doing something and you're walking through a room with somebody else in it who's busy doing something else, and you're talking to yourself while you're walking through the room, and they're busy working on something, and they look over like, what was that? What are you talking about?
Do what
I thought you said something about fairies.
now? Am I talking?
Were you talking about me? It was
No.
flattering, I hope.
Always.
Why weren't you?
No, I wasn't talking about you. I was.
Well,
was
now
just-
my feelings are hurt.
Oh well, it can't always be about you.
You are in dangerous ground. You're on one of your adventures or something, I take it.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
then. Oh, off with you. I have other things to deal with. It's not always about you.
I have this vague thought that when we go speak to the fairies, maybe we should tell them who delayed their baked goods.
Who we think.
I was going to say, don't be definite. When you're dealing with the Fae, it's usually best to be as obscure and vague as possible.
Well, yeah, we can do that too.
That's not a good idea unless we know for sure.
Because
I don't think it's a good idea unless we know for sure. We have
yeah.
suspicions. I don't think we know that for sure.
Well, I didn't like him, so
Killed, are we?
I don't care.
Oh, he was a terrible, terrible person.
Yes.
That's true. Doesn't mean he did that.
I wouldn't mind sicking the fairy on him.
Yes, but you might keep it. They might decide to hurt his workers, the miners, and they don't. The miners are.
Fault. It's his fault.
Well, I've never actually encountered the Fae in person before, so I'm looking forward to this. Let's go see what we can find out.
It'll be interesting.
So you get down to the waterfront?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The waterfront is full of warehouses and docks, all of which none of them look like they've been repaired or maintained in at least your lifetime. Well, except for the elf, who's like a zillion years old. But for human level people, and everybody but the elf, these buildings and docks have not been maintained in your lifetime. At one point, this was a thriving fishing town. That point passed well before the blight. The lake is black and has a low kind of mist over it, and it kind of like makes kind of like a from time to time it like does like this, like thicker than water. It's unpleasant and somewhat disturbing to look at. Anyway, so assuming you don't go for a swim. Oh, there are boats.
Hell is in there?
There are a fair number of boats, about half of which are half under the water and half over the water. Like it's like the outline of a boat, and there's water outside and there's water inside. But about half of them are still floating. And there is one dock that has a holy symbol. And it doesn't matter. I'll deal with it later. Thalal. There's anybody who's like got religion as a part of their background. The goddess of the dead. Not death per se. She doesn't actually kill people. She's more like the manager of the dead. Like once you're already dead, then you're in her domain. It's like that. She's not evil, but she's not necessarily somebody you want to party with. So anyway, there's a symbol of Thalal, which is fairly recent on a flag, on a dock, and there's a boat next to that dock, which is, even the ones that are still floating, no maintenance in God knows how many years. That boat, it's not fancy, but it is well maintained, and it's tied to the dock. That is also well maintained. So there's like one. It stands out for that reason. Anyway, assuming you don't go skinny dipping, you turn right, you go to where you get to the river, and then you turn right, go up the river until you see the mill, and there's the mill, and it looks basically like your standard wooden building with a big water wheel doing this as the river goes by. Also, from the building are tubes. They're about a meter in diameter. They look kind of like sausages. They're leather tubes that come from the building and go not into town, but like up the hills and into the hills. And they kind of like fluctuate like this. It's, again, a little disconcerting to look at, but it doesn't look like grotesque so much as it looks like just kind of weird.
So has anybody in this group got any kind of diplomatic skills? Just out of curiosity.
I knew I should have taken diplomacy.
Yeah.
What would that be? Let me go
Yeah.
glance at my skill list
Vonti
again, 'cause
does.
I don't remember.
I think Vonti does.
Yeah. I've got like all the president's diplomas.
It'd be the important ones are deception, diplomacy, and manipulation.
And
They're all
deception I
slightly
have.
different. Deception is when what you're saying isn't true.
Mhm.
Diplomacy is when what you're saying is true and you want people to agree with it. And manipulation is you just want people to do what you want them to do. And there's like some
Okay.
overlap. It's like a Venn diagram.
I
Got
have
it.
It's got some
deception.
overlap.
I've got the diplomacy and present.
Well, do you want to talk to the Fae?
Sure.
It's 9:04. Do we want to take a brief bathroom break? This is a good time for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
See it 9:09.
Okay.
Little Hellraiser kitty.
He's actually been better lately.
That's good.
Well, it could hardly be worse. We got everybody back yet? No, we're still waiting for Donald and Kieran. Is this going okay? I mean, there's been no fight yet. I was actually planning to have like a huge fight. I don't think we're going to get to it because it's 9.
So who
So-
are we? I'm assuming we're not going to be fighting. I don't think I want to fight the fairy. I'd rather make that guy Bedrick or whatever his name is miserable. I don't like him.
If you fight the fairies, you've made a terrible, terrible decision somewhere along the way.
No, I don't want to fight. I'd rather fight Bedrick or whatever his name is.
Seriously
like
reconsider our
him,
life choices if we have to fight them.
Yes.
I'd rather send the fairy after him because he's not a nice man.
Where's that coming from?
Well,
It was
Well,
clearly
he
not a
didn't
nice
invite you to
man.
sit down.
Yeah,
He only
not
had
exactly.
2 empty chairs. What was he supposed to do?
He wants to murder.
he wants us to be murdered, yes.
Well,
I'm
I mean,
in
if
your
you want to put
road,
it
but I
that
got my
way.
principles.
I mean, when you put it that way, it sounds terrible.
Uh-huh. Very, very bad man.
Very
Yeah,
bad.
Brandon.
Yeah.
I don't recall. Were you in the left of center game that I was running with Dan and Paul when you encountered the group of fairies in the Western Bar?
Yes.
I love the fact that all of you made a distinct point of not. Keep in mind, for everybody else's benefit, they had this huge knockdown, drag-out fight with like 3 of the main villains in the middle of this Western bar that was full of Fae that were all dressed up as cowboys and Indians, because Fae are weird and they do shit like that. But all 3 of them during the course of the fight made a point not to screw with the Fae during the fight because they knew that it would be a massive problem if they did.
Yeah, it was bad enough that they were we were fighting with those guys, we didn't want to bring them into it because it was bad enough as it was. And also, Sam had compunctions about innocent bystanders being injured and things. So,
Well,
and for whatever else they were basically innocent bystanders in that particular conflict, even though they wanted to role play like they were involved, but they weren't. So,
Yeah.
which makes sense to a robot. Okay, so Donald and Karen are back. So you're there. There's a water mill, or what was it's a mill of a sort. It has a water wheel.
It's
There
an
you go.
air mill.
And it
It's
has
a water mill.
it has leather air tubes leaving from it, like 4 of them leaving from it that go up into the hills. And yeah, there you are. What do you do?
You could, yes.
Okay,
the
I
door,
walk
I
on up to the water mill.
Yeah, walk up to the water mill.
And
There's
we
a
let
door.
our diplomat handle it.
I knock 3 times on the door.
Let's see if anybody comes to the door. What would it be to go to a door?
Wait for a count of 10.
Let's say anything above 10 and somebody comes to the door. I mean, they do have things to do. Not just here to answer the door all day. Oh, I got 10. Somebody comes to the door. The door opens about, let's say about 7 centimeters, about yay big.
Okay.
And you hear a teeny tiny voice saying, "May I help you?"
Yes, I'm terribly sorry. We've had a slight problem. Is it possible to talk to someone in charge?
Can I speak to your manager?
Take us to your leader.
Indeed.
Yes, Avanti is going
Okay.
to totally care it.
The door slowly opens. I mean, it takes like a good 20 seconds to open all the way.
Okay.
And then the teeny tiny voice says, "Follow me, please."
I follow them.
Well, follow who?
The voice. I
Well, I'll give it to you. You look around, and you see down at your feet a creature, about this tall,
Oh,
that looks like a grasshopper with the head of a mouse.
ooh, nice.
And as it grasshoppers away into the building, you hear that like of a mill going, because there's like the whole water wheel and it's turning a shaft and that's turning something else and it's got gears and things like that.
The building
And you
is
even-
breathing.
Hmm?
The building is breathing.
Well, it's
way
wooden
to put it.
machinery driven by a water wheel. And you go in through this room to the next room. In the next room, there are, and again, nobody here is engineering, so I actually don't need to explain it to you in any detail. There are gears and spinning things and big accordion-like things that are doing this, that are the size of a car or a wagon. And there's like a buzzing sound of creatures about this big flying around doing stuff. And the creature you followed is shouting, "Bertram! Bertram! You have visitors!" And then a creature flies up, like right up to whoever was in front. Was it
Donald.
Avanti?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'll show
You're the
you.
negotiator. We're just the diplomatic crew. You're the diplomat.
This creature, it has a scarf and looks vaguely frog-like, and it has wings like a
Whoa.
housefly.
Oh.
And it's hovering in front of Avanti.
Oh, aren't you pretty? Oh, forgive me. Hello. sir.
Ha ha! Welcome to the planetarium. I suppose you're here for a tour.
No, I'm sorry. We're not here for the tour. Oh,
Are
we
you
would
certain?
love-
Because this may be your last chance.
we would love to take the tour, but we should probably wait until after we've had our discussions. You see, somebody sabotaged the cupcakes.
Good heavens! You don't say.
Yes,
Well, that's terrible.
I don't know who it was. I have my suspicions. But
Do you?
I'm
Who do you
here to
suspect?
tell you that somebody has sabotaged the cupcakes. Unfortunately, the cupcakes cannot be delivered on time because of the sabotage.
Oh, that is terrible to hear.
Yes,
We
we're
know
looking
we
for
shall have to
a-
shut off all of the breather apparatus.
No. We're working on getting the cupcakes. We will provide you with some extra cupcakes to
Wait,
make up the deficit.
Before we proceed further, it is imperative we observe the niceties. I am Bertram, executor of this enterprise. And who might I be speaking to you?
Bertram, Your Honor, I am glad to make your acquaintance. I am Avanti Manisha of the Order of the Winged Gauntlet.
A noble order, I have heard of it. You seek to defend the defenseless, avenge wrongs, that sort of thing.
Yes, that sort of thing. Help the helpless. Defend
I
the
have no idea
defenseless.
why one would do this, but I applaud your determination to do so.
Well, it's to even the playing field, you know. Give everybody a fair chance. You believe in fairness, don't you?
I believe in fairness, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, I am sorry to hear that the pastries shall not be delivered. Express our condolences to the families of the dead miners.
Well, hold on. I'm here to negotiate with you. You see,
Cecil, Cecil, one moment. Cecil? There's like a zzz, and another vaguely similar little creature flies up and it says, yes, Bertram. It's like, they wish to negotiate an amendment to the contract. Is that permitted? And Cecil says, no, Cecil, I'm terribly sorry. Not permitted at all. No. Contract signed, can't amend. So sorry. Oh, so sorry then. Well, if that's all you wanted.
Wait, are the people who wrote that contract really that short-sighted they didn't think of penalty clauses?
Cecil, is there some kind of penalty clause? And Cecil says, well, since you mention it, Bertram, there is a codicil. Oh, the codicil, quite so. Tell us about the codicil, Cecil. He says, well, and he reaches behind him and pulls out a scroll that's like 3-4 feet wide, and it just unrolls and unrolls and unrolls and unrolls. It's like, and Cecil starts reciting legalese, you know, part of the first part in the case of the event of the blah 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 blah. Ah, here it is. Oh, Cecil has a monocle now. It says, there is a codicil, Bertram. The payment can be delayed, but at a severe penalty. Oh, and certainly you wouldn't want to pay that. Oh, so sorry. Well, on your way then. It's been so nice talking to you.
Here is the penalty.
What's the penalty, Cecil? He says, well, in the event that the payment can't be made for 24 hours, this may be permitted at the sole discretion of the executor. However, it will incur a temporary penalty of 1 cent, and should the payment not be made, all senses, save one, must be forfeit. Oh, horrific! No one would agree to that. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
1 cent. How do you pay a cent? I know what a cent is. Can you describe to me a cent?
Well, just
Is
the
that a hundredth
just the
of a
normal
copy?
5 senses, fashion, fair play, that sort of thing.
Oh,
I don't know how to count the silver.
I
I
don't
think.
think that's.
Wait, what?
How do I pay that? I don't know how to count the silver.
Oh, silver? Who uses silver here? How absurd! No.
I'm sorry. We all use silver out here. I'm
Well,
unfamiliar
sense of
with.
humor was, for example, it's one of them.
I
However, we would insist you retain your sense of fair play. That way, you always know why you've lost what you've lost.
Okay. Well, that seems fairer than the other idea that they sent us in here with.
Wait, are you saying you wish to activate the codicil?
Well, I'm keeping it open as a point of negotiation. Honestly, we were sent in here to eradicate you all, take over your machinery, and eliminate the payments entirely, but I don't think that's fair.
Nor would it be practical, particularly since you've declined the tour.
Exactly. So let us negotiate while we take the tour, shall we?
Well, there's really no negotiation, I'm sorry to say. Cecil, is there any room for negotiation? So says, no, I'm sorry, Bertram, it's quite detailed in black and white. He shows Bertram.
No.
Would you
But
like to
the
read?
black and white is the negotiation, don't you see? It is yes or no, and we do not have an answer yet. So please, take us on the door.
Well, how long do we have, Cecil? Cecil says, oh, I don't know, Bertram. I shall ask Prisley. Prisley! Oh, Prisley! And then it's like a bzzz, and it's like a ladybug person. It's like a ladybug with a person's face. He says, oh, Cecil, well, how may I be of assistance? He's like, oh, how long do they have before they deliver the pastries? Oh, scarcely more than an hour, not more than an hour 17, I would say. And he's like, oh, an hour and 17, Bertram. An hour and 17 minutes.
Well,
So-
how long is the tour?
Ooh, how long? It depends on how many questions you ask. Normally, it runs around 8 minutes. It's really not that much to see, really. It is impressive, but fairly compact.
Then we'll have plenty of time. I don't see the problem.
Do we have a problem with this, Cecil? Oh, no, I don't think so, Bertram. Oh, well then, let's go. All right, so Bertram gives you a tour of the breathing engine. The water wheel
At
turns a shaft.
some point, I'll ask Avanti, are you sure you're not part Fae?
Me?
Yeah.
Nope, just all pig farmer.
Maybe there's a correlation there.
I think it has to do with being Hadlin. I guess. Why
Bertram,
don't you, Avanti? Why don't you tell them that it's not 24 hours were delayed, but only 12?
Well, we're
didn't
not
say-
here yet. First off, we've only got one.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get through this tour first.
Okay.
Bertram tours you through the breathatorium, pointing out, and he names things that you won't remember later. And
No,
there's like
I'm nodding to
various like
Eldon to
accordion-y
make sure
sort of things and tubes
Unless
and
you've got
bladders and
the total recall, which is what it is. It's not what it's.
Yeah, I was going to say that at each point I'm looking to Eldon with this look of like, you got this?
I do too, because I've got it as well.
Eldon and Giral will remember the words
We won't know
and not know what they mean.
Then we won't know what they mean. Yes, that's all we
I
can
can
do.
describe it to an engineer.
And Avanti assumes that means, oh yeah, I can run this thing. Keep going.
We can
How
point
many-
to the
do you
right
ask a lot of
places,
questions?
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Anybody ask questions? Just curious.
Oh yes, I'm
Yeah,
asking a question about
interesting.
every part, where it was, how it was made, where it was made, how it was put together, what tools were used to put it together, everything, what torque specifications, everything you could possibly imagine.
Bertram loves explaining the breathing engine. Every question you ask, he is delighted and happy to explain, and you understand about a quarter of what he says.
So part of what I'm angling here, metagaming, is getting an engineering point at some point. So I'm starting from scratch, starting from nothing.
So 12 minutes later, Bertram ends the tour.
Damn it!
Yes, well, and that concludes the tour. So,
Cool.
have you
Thank you
decided
very much.
whether you would like to enact the codicil for late delivery, which incurs severe penalties?
So who has
Actually,
Oh,
didn't it say it was that?
No? Well, I can't blame you. Have a lovely day.
Sir, didn't it say it was at your discretion? So is something else we could do for you?
Well, whether to accept your offer is at my discretion, yes.
Ah,
Yes, so what can we do for you, sir?
Well, you could satisfy the terms of the codicil. Whether or not I accept your offer, to do so remains in my discretion. I could decline.
Yes. And,
Although,
and
why would I
like
want to do such a thing? You seem like
have
such
you-
pleasant people.
I'm
Mortals of
sorry,
your various... You're not all human, are you? You look rather...
have you met the people in
variations.
here? Your discretion is obviously for purchase. Yes? As is everything else. Have you met the people in town?
Oh, as little as possible. I find them uncouth and somewhat odorous.
My
agree.
exact thought.
However,
So,
we
of
do
course,
have an agreement,
everything
which we
is-
shall abide to the letter.
So of
And
course,
unfortunately,
everything is for
with the
purchase.
sabotage of the pastries, there's no way they can deliver them today. And you, being wise people, shall not engage the codicil, so there's no need for us to further discuss this. Have a lovely day.
Well, no,
you
no.
said
not-
today. Didn't the baker say he would deliver by midnight? Didn't they say they were going to do that?
He said it was due by noon today. He thinks he could actually get more baking powder made and have the pastries made and deliver by midnight, which is 12 hours late.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think you're completely right, and so invoking the codicil would make no difference one way or the other, correct?
Well, it would allow the town 24 hours to make delivery of the agreed upon payment.
But it would make no difference to you or to I, so why don't we just say it's happened?
No, one must abide by the contract.
Yes, and the contract includes the codicil. So
It does indeed.
What may we do for you that you will activate the codicil?
Are you acting in what's the word? Something or other capacity. Are you acting in a fiduciary capacity on behalf of the town?
Oh, I'm not sure they've given me that ability, but let's
Oh,
just
so
go
sorry
for it.
then. I'm afraid I can't discuss contractual details with you then.
Oh, in that case, they did. They said straighten it out. They thought I was going
Oh,
to
so
lower this
pleased to
place
hear
the
it.
ground and invent a new breathing machine. But I'd rather not kill you all if at all possible.
Oh, well, if it shall reassure you, you won't be able to.
Oh, good, because I had many plans for it. But let us say
I can demonstrate the futility of such action, should
Please
you
don't,
desire.
Sir. Nope, no, please no.
fantastic.
No.
So the codicil is active because of the futility.
No,
No?
I'm thinking perhaps you're not the business manager of your enterprise. You are speaking imprecisely and frequently contradict yourself.
I'm not sure that I do. Are you
Ah.
sure?
Which means I'm right. Because
Oh,
if you
well,
were, then you would know.
If you're right, then the codicil should be active.
In which case, would you like to choose the sense you wish to lose between now and the delivery of the agreed upon payment? I suggest sense of humor. I've always wanted to experience the sense of humor of a mortal. And
Oh,
should the payment be made 24
man.
hours from now, then you'll get it back. And if not, we'll take all of your other senses, other than the sense of fair
me-
play.
Jacob
let
steps
me
forward.
go get you that mortal. Then.
Jacob steps forward and says, "I accept."
Settle? Oh, yes, Bertram. Oh, this mortal accepts the codicil. He is to lose the sense of humor until potential delivery tomorrow, upon which point the rest of the codicil shall be enacted. Oh, quite so, Bertram.
And the remainder of the codicil?
Well, it has been a pleasure doing business with you. Over to Jacob. It has been a pleasure doing business with you. I'm terribly sorry that you shall lose all of your senses tomorrow at noon. But on the bright side, you have all of them except sense of humor until tomorrow. Enjoy them. Good day.
The standard
They'll
stone
just
faced.
fly away. They don't do anything, but all of a sudden, Jacob has no sense of humor.
Exactly.
You did anyway.
I can't smile.
Yeah, we don't notice. We walk back to town going, wait, did he say that Jacob would lose the rest of his senses on
Only if they
Vegas?
don't deliver, which they're
Yes, he
planning on
did.
doing.
Yes, he did.
And I think he
Please
also
help the
did
baker
say that
find the baking
Jacob would
soda.
get it back if the delivery was made, I think.
Yes, he did.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I think he might lose all of his senses even if we make the delivery.
Out of character.
Tomorrow.
Between
That's what he
now and noon tomorrow, Jacob has no sense of humor. If the payment is made tomorrow, he will get it back.
Yes, that's what
If
I
the
thought.
payment's
I
not
heard
made
too.
tomorrow, his sense of style, his sense.
He has no sense of style anyway, but okay.
Anyway, his
Yeah.
other senses, other than his sense of fair play, he'll lose those, and the fairies will leave.
Should we go
Ouch.
see if we can?
But they are going to deliver because we're going to make sure that the gnomes are not sabotaged again, aren't we?
Yeah, and
Yes.
on the way back
Let's
to
do
town, Avanti's going to mention to Eldon, so you know how all that works and can make it happen once we kill them all, right?
I could explain it to somebody who knows how to do it.
I don't want to kill them. I'd rather kill what's his face.
As to how it works, no, I've got no idea
What-
whatsoever. They didn't explain that.
Avanti looks it over at Ogilvy. Could you explain to her how to make it all work?
Not gonna help.
I don't think she's an engineer.
Definitely not.
I know what
I
all the
don't
fancy words
care.
are, but I don't know what they mean. Sorry.
I just figure if enough people understand how it works, then it'll work, right?
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Let's go figure out how the baking powder works.
In that case, I
Yes.
completely
Let's do that.
misunderstand
Let us do that.
magic.
Somehow, Jacob has also lost his sense of contractions. He's speaking like Data now. No contractions. Maybe it's linked to humor somehow. I don't know.
That does not seem logical.
That's fine.
I am still firmly of the opinion that we.
I read a thing recently that said about how poorly Spock actually applied logic in many cases.
Yeah.
Well, he was written by humans, so
Oh, yeah, that's true.
can't
Worse,
fault
worse
for
than that, he was written by Harlan Ellison half the time. Okay, half the good episodes were Harlan Ellison episodes.
Well, either way, we need to watch over the gnomes.
Yes.
Yes.
Right so.
And I think tomorrow, whenever the pastries are delivered, I think we should let it slip who we suspected did this. I really do.
I wouldn't mind.
I
I'm
don't,
not okay with that.
I don't
I don't
suspect
think the Freya are
anyone.
going to care one way or the other.
Yeah.
Not to the fairies, to the town folk.
I don't actually suspect anyone. I just was using that as a bargaining chip.
Hmm. All right, well, let's go stand.
I just don't think
I
that.
don't believe I'm actually saying this, but let's go stand guard over a bakery.
Yeah, maybe use magic to make the muffins rise.
I was thinking about that. I just don't know the spell. I'd have to concoct something. Actually, if they had some baking powder, I might possibly be able to reproduce it, but I'd have to have some in order to create some.
I'll throw this out there because it's something I think Eldon would think of.
Mm.
You can change one thing into another thing.
Right.
It may not last forever, but you can do it.
I wouldn't do it that way because then it would.
I don't know. You turn the chalk into baking powder, it activates, it bakes. You don't care.
Yeah, you deliver muffins, you book. Yeah.
Okay, take
After
that.
the baking process is over, you don't need it to be baking powder anymore.
Eldon,
I was gonna say, it's
take that
consumed.
one step further, but flip it.
Someone turned the
Someone turned the baking powder into chalk.
Oh, okay.
For a
Someone
while.
transmuted the baking powder into chalk.
Can you undo it?
Because they'd only have to do it long enough for it not to work while it's cooking.
Right. Okay.
Which means, depending on like how powerful they were, because doing it forever is expensive.
Right.
But you could make it last days. You personally could probably make it last days. It's fairly innocuous as the spell
Okay.
goes.
Well, go back to the bakery.
But I say just
This is-
watch and
This is
maybe
the challenge, which is fun.
You want
And
to
it's a
throw a
magical challenge,
protection
which is doubly
spell.
fun.
If you're going to throw a spell, throw a protection spell on the present baking powder, so it cannot be transmuted again.
Well, find the container full of chalk.
It is still chalk.
and okay, take out some samples of it and start experimenting and see if I can actually transmute it into baking powder.
Well, yeah.
I'm not going to make you roll
undo
because... What, Leslie?
I said, or undo the spell that was done to turn it into chalk.
Leslie Zural suggests probably the first thing Eldon tries. Just like,
Right.
if it was done by magic, how about just canceling that?
Undo it.
And
yeah.
and you can just roll over and over, and you're not in combat, so it takes a few minutes or whatever, or not. But yeah, Eldon like cancels it, and it isn't visibly different, but Eldon knows that it changed.
Okay, call over one of the bakers. You want to take a look at this for me?
He comes over to you. He looks at the little chafing dish. No, not chafing dish. What do you make?
Muffin
Ramekin.
tin.
Yeah, whatever. Little
Ramekin.
tin. And he's like, what do you want me to look at?
Is that baking powder?
He like puts his finger in it, tastes it. Yes.
Congratulations, go make muffins.
This is not enough.
Yeah.
How much do you need?
He points over at the bin
Bin?
that normally has baking powder in it. He's like, that amount would be good.
Okay. Try it on the entire
You
bin.
got some on you? Oh, you go over to it and you, and it changes back. And again, nobody else sees anything change.
Okay.
It looks like white powder. It was white powder. It's again white powder. So you do stuff, and people are just like waiting.
Okay, give it a try.
This chalk.
Try it now.
Oh, it's baking powder.
Congratulations. Get to work.
He takes his little thing and he
My friend's
leaves the
sense of
room.
humor is on the line here.
Well,
You know, I
Why
never
did
thought
I
I'd
not
say
think
that.
of this before? This is much simpler, is it not?
Eldon, is it
I said
possible?
that woodenly.
Can you put a protection spell in the bakery for the rest of the afternoon so that they can't try this again?
That's a thought. I could do a magical shield. Yeah, the bakery can't be that big. It's a freaking bakery.
It's a small building.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
more
find
it's
some-
like narrow and long. It's got like ovens in the back.
All right. So find something contiguous, like one of the walls, and just put a anti-magic, like shell protection.
Sure. Blow like 3 magic points on that.
Okay.
All
right.
Not looking it up. I'm just telling you.
Okay.
Just seems reasonable.
And I'm
right.
okay with that. Yeah.
The gnome comes back. Looks up at you. Goes over, gets a stool, climbs up on the stool, touches the baking soda, touches it. He's like, "It's baking soda."
Yes.
We're back in business. All right then. We have no time to waste. Get going. And they all start shoveling baking soda and flour and sugar and things, and mixing, and they get going. So they're going to be busy for a while.
Couple hours. Yeah.
As many pastries as they need to make, it's going to be all night. So.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
keep watch on them because we're like on the line for delivering this stuff on time.
Mhm.
Fortunately, all the icing wasn't spoiled. They still have buckets of icing, so that's done. So that's going to save them some time. All right then. Who here has Mage Sight?
Who has what?
Mage Sight. Basically, I think it's just Eldon. All right, Eldon,
Yep.
you need to make a perception roll, and I will roll against you. And I think it's 3. So I roll, and then holy moly! Well, I rolled a 3, and adding 3 to that is a 6. So let me know if you roll more than 6.
16.
Okay,
That is slightly more than 6.
just by a hair. All right. You see a critter crawling around that looks kind of like a weasel with dragonfly wings. And you're pretty sure nobody else can see this. Like it's something about like its coloring. It's got that like inverse color shifting red blue spectrum thing going across it, like you see in
Okay.
music videos sometimes.
Right.
So whereas nothing around it is. So
Right.
you're pretty sure you're seeing something other people aren't seeing. And it sneaks over to the bin of baking soda.
And I'll grab it with telekinesis.
Holy moly! All right, this will require a roll. So this is a dex roll,
Okay.
range combat. I think I've forgotten how I do this. Actually, honestly, hang on. Let me go look it up because I don't know. I mean, if you gotta forget the rules for a game, it may as well be the one you wrote. Okay, so
Like the fairy did it.
magic combat. Here we go. Blah blah blah. This is a natural attack because you're just grabbing something. There's no like weird other dimensional effects. It's just a grab. So you roll thaumaturgy presence, add your power level. I roll my range combat agility. That's what we do. I rolled agility is really good, but I rolled really bad. So 12.
20.
Jesus Christ. All right. You all are hanging out. You're guarding the bakery, as serious as that sounds. And Eldon, like, looks over something, and like his eyes, like he's following something with his eyes, and he casts a spell, and then you hear a squeal from over by the baking soda bin.
And pull it over.
You found it.
It's still invisible.
Right. Do not want to touch it. I just
It's
want it to
glaring
stop.
at you.
Something I can do.
Let me go.
You're one of the Fae.
Aha! They're trying to break the contract.
Nobody else sees it.
Oh, I know, but I'm
Can they hear it?
Yes.
Okay. You're trying to break your own contract?
He just glares at you.
What do you have against the miners?
And which is point I'll just bounce it off the floor a couple of times. Not hard enough to actually kill it, but
If you don't release me, I will curse all of your progeny for centuries to come. They'll all spill mucus out of their face holes. Don't mess
you're
with
not
me.
you're not even particularly good at turning baking powder into chalk. And you're telling me you're cursing my progeny for untold generations?
Humph! I am spectacular at turning baking soda into chalk. Although I didn't do it the first time. And I haven't done it yet. But I could, and I would do a fantastic job. Who are you to say otherwise?
I will concede that point. However, I'm still doubting your ability to curse my progeny until generations. That's not a request or anything. I was just that part I am doubting, I have to admit.
He said he didn't do it the first time. That's interesting.
So who did it the first time?
Yeah, they know you're here now.
It's visible, and everybody else is seeing basically in the air, like like you pick a cat up by the scruff of its neck and just kind of hangs there. That's kind of what you're looking at, but it's a weasel with dragonfly wings, and its eyes are like faceted bug eyes, and its hands are like actual little hands.
All right, that's it. I'm just going to go throw you in the lake.
Ew! No!
It was the worst thing I could think of.
I can offer you riches. Gold beyond your wildest imaginings.
Yeah,
Or
no.
silver, if that's better. Which one's better?
Gold,
Yes,
actually.
gold, yes. Piles of it.
Just like you turn that, just like we were able to turn baking powder into chalk.
It's actually very similar.
Was it you that turned it into chalk, or what are you doing here, actually?
No. That was Nigel.
Oh, so Nigel was the one who turned it into chalk. Okay.
So do the people we spoke does everybody know that you're doing this, or did you guys plan this yourselves?
Oh no! Wait. What? No. How can everyone? No one knows everything.
How
How
did
does everyone know something?
the people in charge, or the fairies in charge, the fae in charge of what you were of the?
Oh, you mean Bertram, the
Yeah.
executor of our expedition?
Yes.
Well, of course, Bertram's the executor.
So Butchum wants to breach
So
contract.
Bertram sent you?
Wait, I probably should not be talking to you about this.
Oh, no, you should, and I'll explain to you why in excruciating detail if you wish.
Excruciating.
She will. She'll do it,
Okay.
too.
Avanti goes into the minutest details of social interactions that have nothing to do with this.
The fairy listens with rapt attention.
For as long as it
Your
takes to make-
colleagues will run out of patience before the fairy does.
I'm like, let's continue this conversation.
It's like 20 minutes later, everybody but Avanti's saying, okay, stop. Oh my God, just stop. Somebody else take over, because this isn't going anywhere.
Okay, fair enough.
Meanwhile, the baking cupcakes smell wonderful.
In
In fact, the fairy you're talking to, its whiskers twitch, and it's like...
And you wanted to sabotage this, you and Nigel. Why?
Bertram. I mean,
Why
Nigel
does Bertram
knows.
want to sabotage it?
It's not that we
Nigel knows.
want to. We have no choice. We are contractually obligated to operate the breathing apparatus unless the payment of pastries isn't made. We can only leave if the payment isn't made. So you can see we have no choice.
You guys could have written a new. If you guys wanted to leave, you could just show the townsmen how to do the work the machines themselves.
Oh, they couldn't. It's fairy magic. Even he couldn't.
Pointing at the elf.
I mean, no offense.
None taken. It was quite a complicated.
So it's fairy magic that makes it work, not elfin magic.
Quite so.
I don't really think there's a distinction.
Oh, well, that's insulting.
Avanti looks to Ogilvy for just a moment when Eldon says that, and then looks back to Eldon just stone face.
May I know your names since we're having a conversation? I'm Percival.
Okay, Eldon.
Of Antimanesia.
Ertrachleicht.
Joao.
Are you the mortals who visited the apparatus earlier today?
Yes.
Ah,
For
you're why
variation.
Bertram was worried.
Yes.
Worried. He thinks you could do something to prevent our leaving.
Well,
Well, would you like to be free?
Oh, it's very important. Dark times are coming.
It is very important to us that the apparatus work.
It's not going to.
well, is there a possibility that it can work long enough so that those miners that are down there can get up and not die?
Call it 3 days.
Yeah, and then just leave. Once they're up, you can leave.
I don't think the contract allows that.
Oh,
No, you just breached the contract. So,
If you breach the contract, we are free.
no,
That's
no,
what
no, no.
Bertram wants.
But if there is no breach of contract, say if there is, what is your severance in the contract?
That's really Nigel's area.
And in that case, we should talk to Nigel about severance to find out how much time we've got between things. Because, things need to happen. You don't just snap your finger and people stop breathing and start breathing again, right? Just like you don't snap your finger and they run the machine and don't run the machine. There's a
That's
transition.
actually very much how it happens.
well,
No, there's a transition.
and the other possibility exists that they pay in the cupcakes, and you're stuck here till the next batch of cupcakes gets made. Meanwhile, that gives the mortals of this city time enough to get their miners out of the mine, and they just tell their miners not to go back down there and don't pay you, and you can break contract and leave.
Yeah, if you give warning that you're going to force the break.
Give them a warning.
We
is
can't
what
break
I'm
the
saying.
contract.
Didn't
the
we
humans
just
won't.
discuss severance? Are we just like saying the same thing and using different words these days?
Probably. I don't.
You don't tell them they're not allowed to deliver the next load of cupcakes.
Well, that's up to Nigel. Well, I mean, the cupcakes are getting delivered, right? It's up to Nigel what happens after that.
Well, yeah, they're getting delivered because we need to get our friend's sense of humor back.
Yes,
Yeah,
please let us deliver the cupcakes on time.
Wait, you sold your sense of humor? Oh,
Yes.
I want to try
Yes.
that.
I did.
And honestly, this would be considered under.
I
Excuse me?
looked at the weasel thing. Our friend here, I'm sorry, I don't recall your name.
Percival.
Percival, that's it. How could I forget Percival? I'm terribly sorry for forgetting your name. I am of weak mind, you understand. Percival, could you go and get Nigel for us?
Are you sure? That was very
Well,
boring.
If we're going to discuss severance, shouldn't Nigel be here at
I
least?
appreciate Nigel. He's very steadfast.
Nigel knows the contract.
Yes. If you could go get Nigel for us, that would be greatly helpful. Take as much time
Promise
as you
to
like.
bring
Stop
back
for tea
Nigel,
along
you
the
release
way.
me?
Yeah, stop for tea along the way. It would just be helpful in general if you could go get Nigel in as casual a manner as you like. I
We
don't
have
want
a
to impose.
compact. You will release me if I return with Nigel.
Yes.
Oh, I'm not sure I have I'm not sure I have the power to alter your contract, do I?
Different thing.
Percival looks at Eldon.
Is
Says,
this a
if
different?
you are holding me,
Yep.
if you release me, I will someday return with Nigel.
Someday.
Yeah, I got the lack of time there. I would appreciate it if you'd return with Nigel within, say, an hour or so. Oh, don't hiss at me. I'll shake him.
Oh no. Avanti goes, oh, no. 2-3 hours is plenty of time.
Yeah, the pastry should be done by then.
No need to rush. 3 hours for Nigel. Let us not be imposing upon our poor Percival here.
I agreed to within 3 hours.
Okay. Then I'll release you if you go forth, get Nigel, and bring him back here within 3 hours.
I agree.
Okay. I'll carry him outside.
It disappears.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that made it easy.
And now we've got a few more hours to cook and bake cupcakes.
Keep an eagle eye on the pastries.
No other fairies show up. Nobody comes to sabotage the bakery. They
Somehow
start
this is a
churning
lot
out
less
cupcakes
combat
and
than
pastries and patisseries and baklava and whatever other things they make with flour and honey and nuts and so forth.
Somehow this is a whole lot less combat oriented than I was imagining it would be.
This hasn't gone how I expected, but is it okay? Is it all right?
Yeah.
Yes, this is fun.
Play, which is fun.
It's really, sometimes things just don't go how I expect. All right, that's fine. So, like 2 hours and 59 minutes later, there's a pop, and you have the weasel, bug-eyed, dragonfly wing creature, and you have the what did Nigel? I think Nigel just looked like another like vaguely frog-looking with fly wings fairy. Oh, but Nigel has a monocle. And Percival says,
I've returned. This is Nigel.
Thank you.
I never said he would stay.
and Percival disappears, and Nigel holds up a finger and says, before I leave,
Severance.
why did you want to talk to me?
Contract negotiation.
Severance.
Oh, sadly, there's no negotiation involved. It's all quite black and white.
No,
and he like
no,
reaches
no,
out
no,
and
no,
like
no.
there's like a
No,
4 foot wide scroll.
No, you misunderstand me. You misunderstand me. Nigel, we are here to create a contract of severance.
I don't think that's covered.
No,
No one's ever asked for that before. Wait, what? Be precise. What do you mean by severance?
A transition.
What are the terms for ending the contract?
Oh,
Yeah,
the terms in the contract are quite clear. When the payment is not made, the contract terminates.
There's no severance option for either party.
Yes. You can't
If
say
the
we're
town
tired of doing
chooses
this.
to cease paying, then the service ceases.
Well,
There's
they're gonna
no
pay. Nigel,
there's no
they're gonna
provision
pay.
for the ferries for our enterprise to end our services. It's
Oh,
There's no
in that
option
case-
to request ceasance of payment in a timely manner.
In that case, we should create a contract of severance, something that comes into effect when this contract ends.
no. Any codicils must be approved and ratified
No.
during the contractual negotiation period,
Not
which was
a codicil.
approximately 186 moons ago.
Not a codicil, I assure you.
Well, actually, it'd be more than that. It'd be like 586 moons ago.
Not a codicil, I assure
Well,
you.
Nigel, why don't you take a whiff and you'll realize you're going to get your pastries today.
Yeah. Well, what will happen
That
here?
one now.
Nope, that's not in the contract.
No. However, we might be able to write a severance contract if you wish a pastry now.
That would be a separate and entirely unrelated agreement.
Well, yes, but it would still be binding, wouldn't it?
And the thing is it's for the necessity of getting the miners out of the mine before this whole enterprise ends.
Yes. So, for a payment of a number of muffins to be decided to you personally, we would wish that when the final payment of muffins is made to Bertram, that an allowance of a period of time for exiting the miners occurs. And perhaps for, if we have enough muffins, for a few more muffins, some perhaps information of
May I
breathing
stop you
engine
there?
would occur.
May I please interrupt?
Yes, of course.
Hold that thought.
This is a negotiation. Of
He
course.
disappears.
He's probably going to talk to Bertram.
Yeah.
Then there's and Bertram and Nigel appear. When Nigel
Okay,
disappeared,
fair enough.
the 40 feet of scroll also disappeared. When Nigel
Fair enough.
reappears, he's not holding the scroll. It's just Nigel and Bertram. So
Fair enough.
Bertram says, "Ha ha! Good evening. So, I'm told you have questions about our contract."
Oh, no, not at all. No questions about the contract.
Oh, then we shall be going.
No, not quite so fast. I wish to offer a contract of severance.
That would be a separate and entirely unrelated negotiation, which we could not possibly entertain until the cessation of the current contract.
So you want us to
No. This would take active at the cessation of the current contract. So it would, of course, have to be set up beforehand.
Nigel,
Otherwise, it
is there
couldn't.
anything that will prevent this? No, if we have a contract that is implemented at the end of the current contract, that's feasible. It's feasible. Oh, well then, what is your proposal?
All right. Well,
He throws his scarf over his shoulder. Ha ha!
Well, I would, of course, have to check afterward with the mayor to make sure that the town is capable of this.
So you don't have authority to negotiate in good faith?
Oh, I do have authority. I just don't have final authority. You understand how that is?
It's like you. It's like Nigel didn't have final authority to negotiate without you.
Aha!
Yeah,
I
and-
believe me, I
and-
understand. One moment. They both disappear. And then about 15 seconds later, Nigel and Bertram and the mayor appear. The mayor is wearing like a long white nightgown and looking very confused.
I look at the mayor.
This is
I'm terribly sorry about this, but apparently you need to be present.
this is Franklin Jella.
Mhm.
He's like, what?
Mhm.
What the hell?
So, assuming we meet the the latest payment terms.
For what? What are you talking about? Why are
Your
you in the
Honor?
bakery?
Your Honor, please bear with us.
Is this a dream?
No, but you are going to be asked a very important question at the end, so please pay attention. And then
You're
he
the
turns back
treasure
to
hunters.
me.
No, you're not the treasure hunters. You're the people from Bonnie Brana.
Right.
Yes. So
Yes, and we are attempting to solve your problem with.
I thought
the
you'd be gone by
pay.
now.
And
no problem's not solved.
Bertram here is the head of your breathing engine
He
apparatus.
looks around and he sees the fairy. He's like, oh, okay.
Yes.
They want out of their contract. We found out who sabotaged the baking powder, and it was them.
Yeah, they want
You what?
out. So wait, sir, Your Honor, please. You are here as a formality, and you are the most important formality. You are the most formal of potential formalities.
Get on with it.
She talks like that all the time. I'm sorry.
Essentially, you have a choice of you can have them continue to try to get out of their contract, which may end up killing all the miners, or you may try to find a better, more peaceful way to end the contract because they're going to end the contract anyways.
Wait, you want to end the contract? I prefer not to discuss that.
They do. They were the ones that
Yeah.
sabotaged the
Okay, so
flower.
what we're looking for now is a severance so that everybody gets out until
Alive.
the folk can figure out the breathing.
So
effort.
that no one dies in the mines
Yeah.
while they leave because they want to leave. Why do you want to
Yeah.
leave? Again, I'm afraid I don't wish to discuss that.
The other one said something about dark times coming.
You what? And Nigel says, no, not me. I think they mean Percival. Oh, blast Percival! Always running her mouth. Well, now that you know, I may as well tell you. Dark times are coming. The land shall be awash in blood and darkness. And we don't wish to be here for that. So, we'd like to leave. If you don't mind.
Percival's a woman.
Well, if you give the miners a chance to come up from the mine so they don't all suffocate, then you can leave.
Sadly, we are constrained by our contract.
Yeah.
Wait, Percival's a woman?
Apparently.
I would have thought that was obvious. You're
Oh,
not
well,
very
you
observant,
know.
are you?
Well, you give her my contact information then.
Eldon,
No,
Jarrell whispers to you very quietly. Now I see why your people don't want to be associated with them.
yeah, we're not real fond of the Fae either.
I have a question.
Okay.
You want to leave to the Fae. We
Want to keep breathing.
want the miners to not die. So we want the air.
Optimally, the engines keep running, but let's leave that as a option. But optimally, the
But
engine.
we want the people to breathe in the mines
Until they come up. Get them out of there.
So we want them out until the.
Mhm.
Oh, this is not going to be popular.
Nothing you can do about it. They're
No,
sabotage your bakery.
but will it be less popular than every miner not breathing?
If they don't breathe, they can't express an opinion.
A very pragmatic point of view.
But their families will.
Yeah.
All of the miners who are currently breathing will, though, express the opinion of those who are not.
Yes.
At that point, we shall be far away from here, and
Why
it
don't you
shall no
just
longer
take
be a
the-
problem.
Wait, what? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was talking to the mayor, not the Fae.
Well, you're talking, so the Fae said that.
Yeah,
Bertrand,
okay. Okay.
Just take the cupcakes, give the miners that are down there a chance to get up, and then you can leave.
When the Fae talk
They're not
about
all-
leaving,
they're not all
I
gonna
look
leave.
at the mayor
I mean-
and be like, uh-huh.
Mm. You're the dwarf. Oh, you're gonna get up, Kieran? You took your headset off. Oh, Kieran just froze. We've lost Kieran. Kieran down. Kieran down.
Oh, no. Kieran down.
On that note, it's after 10 o'clock, so I got to leave.
It is.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
We can resolve this fairly quickly. I've been kind of dragging it out, I guess.
Kieran's
All right,
back.
so-
Let's go.
Oh, she's blinking. Hi, Kieran.
Hello.
So the mayor will agree to deliver this delivery, which will pay ahead for 1 moon of air, and will post contractually agree that he won't deliver the next set of cupcakes and pastries, and in exchange for that, the fairies will do something.
I think that's pre-contractually rather than post-contractually because it's a new contract.
It
That
is,
I
and
won't
you're not entirely
do that.
sure how it all works out because The mayor and the fairies talk about it, and they seem to be in agreement on what's going on, but you're not entirely clear what's going on. And that's cool.
As long as they're happy, I'm happy.
So they will not. The gist of it is they won't sabotage the bakery anymore. There'll be exactly one more delivery of pastries, and a month from now, the fairies will be gone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just how it is.
And if we
Yeah.
can figure out how to
That'll
run,
allow the miners to be told they've got a month, and if they're down there, that's their choice.
yeah, and we've got a month to figure out how
Sorry.
that mill works magically.
Okay.
Yeah.
The fairies seem okay
Right.
with this. The mayor doesn't feel like he has any other choice, and you guys do whatever you do.
Okay.
All right then.
I don't want to get us stuck running this breathing engine, but I do want to solve the problem without like killing an entire mining town, because that
The
would
fairies
be
are quite confident that you won't be able to operate it without them.
right, but their confidence is not our confidence.
Fair enough. They will say that there's no contractual stipulation that says you can't try once they're gone.
Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
There are stipulations against you interfering with it while it's operating, but once they leave, there's no stipulation against you trying to operate it after they're gone.
How much does it cost us to get observers on site during the operation?
Like OJT.
Yeah, like Eldon and Ogilvy sit around going, "Oh, I see."
I think it would be more like you go
Oh,
give
and
They're
And-
a
tours.
request to town.
at some
right.
point, we'd kind of like to
But
give Jacob back his sense of humor. I know he's not using it very often, but
Oh, that is
I am
already
fine. However, tomorrow it
contractually-
would be nice.
That is already contractually agreed upon noon tomorrow, if
Okay.
the pastries are delivered.
Most excellent.
I'm just thinking if
By the way, I'm quite enjoying your sense of humor.
You are
A
Yeah.
welcome.
farmer once went to find a wife, and he continues telling a joke, and at the end of it, he laughs uproariously. And the fairies just kind of look at him. I don't get it.
I'm
I
I
didn't-
just cock
I didn't-
my
get
head
it,
like,
Betcham.
yeah,
Why-
no,
why is
I'm just hoping that Ogilvy observes them and goes, "Oh, that's what they're doing."
They do give a tour once a day. You're welcome to take that tour.
And Ogilvy and Eldon can take that tour every day and hopefully use their
And ask as many questions as you want during the tour. They clearly don't
Yeah,
care
yeah.
if you ask questions.
They've got a month. They could, bring in magical engineers from hire a magical engineer.
Yeah,
from-
bring
Moving
in
on.
specialists if they need
So
to.
everybody agrees to that. Nobody has a problem with this. Nobody objects to the.
We're good.
Nope.
Hey,
If nothing else, they push
I
it down
feel-
the road for a month, and we won't be here.
Yeah, I feel like there's some kind of secret catch-22 in there, but you know what? I'm going to be out of town by then.
Yeah.
it's
You know,
actually
I-
fairly.
help
As
these
far as
people.
fairy contracts go, it's actually fairly straightforward. When you don't pay, they will leave.
Right.
And the mayor has promised that if on that day they don't pay, they will give him something. And they arrange that between themselves. It's not your business.
Yeah, not my problem. Okay.
Yep.
We're good.
So,
Let's go home.
and the fairies don't want to be here when the darkness rises. So they're happy with it.
Stop.
You know what? Neither do I. I'm just not sure if I have a choice or not like that.
We may have to try to figure out
All
how
right.
to stop this darkness bullshit.
Do you care though? I'm getting the feeling you don't care.
darkness rising here or everywhere?
Right?
It's
That's the
everywhere.
question.
Remember that book we tried to extradite for what's his name, the lizard man? That involved this
Yes.
darkness thing.
Okay.
Radu.
Okay. When you're this, does this being black and white really matter to you?
If it kills us, yes.
Oh yeah, dying's bad. Pretty much everybody agrees on that. That's
Right,
universal.
right. But if you're this,
Okay,
Anyway, guys.
this is a nice
Requires
place to
this,
wrap up.
not this. Yeah.
We're gonna end. So the negotiations with the fairies end. They go back to the mill. The mayor walks back to where he lives. You guys can hang out at the bakery or walk
One of
back
these days
to
we will actually-
where you're staying or whatever, and then we like wrap that up.
Okay. One of these days we will actually fight something in this game, I promise.
I really intend this to be like a full-on big battle, but it just didn't. It just turned left and didn't go that way. I don't know. I'm sorry. Maybe next time.
It worked. It worked. It was good.
I said, what
Okay.
box? What box? Oh, that way somewhere.
All right. Have a good night. Sometime this week, let me know whether you want to play this next week, or Leslie, if you want to play your Marvel game
I'm
next
gonna
week.
see what I'm gonna see what I can come up with.
Okay. Have a good night.
Okay, I'll let you two decide who's got the thing, because I'm good with both. I'm
Okay.
enjoying both games a lot.
This was fun.
Yep, I like
Thanks
this.
for coming, Kieran.
All right. Have a good night, guys.
Good night,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye, guys.
Good night.